Welcome back to the Euro Fantasy deadline stream. There is 1 hour 50 minutes until kickoff for all Group A games, and it's going to be some very exciting contests, that's for sure. Germany haven't secured top spot just yet, but they have qualified for the round of 16, and that's why I expect them to go strong, and I'm looking to go for 2 or 3 Germany players on the Limitless. I have activated the chip, and the team is quite similar to what I talked about in the team selection, but there have been changes, and I'll be locking in this Limitless squad during the deadline stream. Those that are patrons or channel members and you're signed up already, be sure to check it out because I have posted my current team right now, and very soon I'll be showing it to everybody because I need to lock in certain details as well. There's a lot that could still change from that image as well, so there's a lot to dissect in the next hour and 50 minutes, and we can potentially go beyond 8 PM as well. But let's jump straight into your questions. Drop a like, it'd be massively appreciated, and our aim is to get this video to the 200 likes nice and early, and then we can push on towards bigger objectives as always. So Man United's finish starts things off. What do you think of a differential front three of Griezmann, Morata, Gakpo? I like the look of it, but Morata isn't someone I expect to start, so I wouldn't go for him. But Griezmann and Gakpo look very appealing, especially Griezmann, who, I don't know how he didn't score against the Netherlands, but you probably blame Rabiot a little bit more for that incident. But yeah, I like the concept of going for 3 differential forwards, but I wouldn't go for Morata. I don't think he starts. It'll probably be Joselu down the middle with Dani Olmo and Oyarzabal as the 2 wingers. Man United's finish also says, my team is Simon, Frimpong, Trent, Mittelstadt, Carvajal, Szoboszlai, Bellingham, Musiala, Griezmann, Morata and Gakpo. Very good team, but once again, it goes back to those Spanish and Portuguese players if you have them on your bench, which it looks like you do. Yeah, you've got Pedro Neto. I would avoid Unai Simon. I think David Raya will start, and I'd also avoid Morata, but the rest looks very solid, and I also can't forget Carvajal. I think it will be Jesus Navas on the right-hand side, but everybody else should start. Of course, Frimpong is always a bit of a doubt, but yeah, everybody else looks set to be in the starting 11. Why Neto when Portugal have João Felix? The thing is, though, as a pure winger, I think Pedro Neto is the better option, and they could still play together, right? But you've also got Diogo Jota, so it's going to be very difficult to predict that Portugal 11. You've also got Gonzalo Ramos. But yeah, with Pedro Neto, it's an interesting one. He's a great assister, fantastic dribble of the ball. Not the greatest goal scorer, though. His record is pretty awful in front of goal, but I still think he could be a nice differential for Matchday 3. Yeah, Darcy, so I'm actually in 2 minds about this myself, and apologies, by the way, but I'm trying to sort out my stream deck, which unfortunately isn't working, so I've had to improvise in the last couple of minutes. But yeah, I think with Mbappe, it's a very difficult one. I think he will start, but a lot of reports indicate that, you know, he played in, what is it, against the under-21s, I think, of Paderborn yesterday. He got 2 goals and 2 assists. He played 60 minutes. And today he came out with a new mask. He was in training, participating in the exercises. It's very difficult to judge if he will start or not, but I put a poll about this on my YouTube channel, and the vast majority of you do believe that Mbappe will start. I go Mbappe also, says Luis Bonilla. Fair enough. And of course, I will try to catch up to the chat because these messages were posted some time ago. And of course, I do realize that. So Johnny says Limitless active. Welcome, Ezra. Manish says my team is bad. Well, if you've got a wildcard or Limitless, you can change that. I prefer Oyarzabal, so do I. But it's quite difficult, I think, between him and Dani Olmo in the midfield. I also like Ferran Torres up front, but I think Oyarzabal is my favourite. Good to see you, Jesus Colina. Hey Dylan, hope you are good. Likewise to you. Do you think it's good to use Limitless in the knockout stages as there is rotation issues in some teams? The thing is, though, the Limitless can also help you combat this rotation. For example, if you've got a triple up in Portugal with Ronaldo, Bruno Fernandes and Cancelo, they're all likely going to be benched. So with the Limitless, you can go for fringe players like João, or should I say Diogo Jota, Gonzalo Inicial, for example. And that way you can tackle the rotation and get a good score for Matchday 3. And then, of course, unlimited transfers for the knockout stages. Any more midfielders other than Oyarzabal? Dani Olmo for me. I use my Limitless in Matchday 2. Is it wise to use the wildcard in Matchday 3? It depends on your situation, but there is some news about well, in the last couple of days that is worth mentioning. So, for example, from Sunday morning, we did get confirmation that DeMarco is set to be out of matchday 3 against Croatia. He will not feature due to injury. So, I just really... Let's put it this way. If you've only got 2 transfers to make and you're very happy with your team, you expect all of them to start, then save the wildcard for matchday 5 preferably. But if you've got 3, 4, possibly 5 or more changes, then that's what the wildcard's for. And I think it could really pay off in matchday 3. Hello, mate. How are you? Good. Hopefully it's the same for you. Let me know how you're doing. What cheap midfielder? Or was it what cheap player should use Limitless? What cheap? Oh, what chip should you use? Okay. I'd recommend the Limitless for most people. And I've always said this in my chip strategy guide a couple of weeks ago. So in matchday 4, we have unlimited transfers, but you also get a 5 million increase in budget. And as a result, I think the Limitless loses a bit of value going into the knockouts because it's easier to build a very strong team for the round of 16 and beyond. So I'd say the Limitless now and the wildcard in matchday 5 or 6, depending on how your team is doing. Hello, Dylan. Must-own players for the Limitless. I'd say 1 England attacker, so Harry Kane or Bellingham, despite the fact that they've really struggled to score goals. If you back Mbappe to start, I'd 100% go for him. I'd also consider a Spanish attacker, so Oyarzabal, Dani Olmo or Ferran Torres, Kevin De Bruyne or Lukaku, and De Bruyne is my preference. I'd also go for an England defender at the very least. I'd also recommend French defenders like Saliba, Theo Hernandez or Koundé. You've got Maignan in goal as well. So yeah, I think those are the sorts of players I'd class as almost essential or must own. Trossard plus Gvardiol to Koundé and KDB. Yeah, I like the look of that, to be fair. I'm 100% on board. Is Schranz a good shout? He's one of the joint top scorers in this competition with 2, unless you count own goals. Yeah, I think that's a decent shout. He's not my favourite. I won't be recommending him in Limitless or Wildcard team videos anytime soon, but I could think of much worse. He's had a good start to this tournament with goals in each game. Do you think Costa and Cancelo will play? No, I don't. So, welcome to Grigol, and obviously Georgia, great result yesterday against Czech Republic, and good luck for matchday 3. I wish you the best there. Mbappe will play. As I mentioned just a few minutes ago, it's very difficult to predict. My current hunch is yes, but I'm not certain about it whatsoever, and his minutes could certainly be managed. Worth taking Mbappe over Havertz? I think so, but it is risky. Hello, mate. Hope all is well. Just toying with my Limitless right now. Spain picks are tough. Yes, and the same goes for Portugal, but I think Oyarzabal, Dani Olmo and Joselu will be the front 3. And yeah, you've also got some decent options in the defence like Grimaldo and Jesus Navas. And in goal, it should be David Raya. So those are the players I'd likely go for. I've also seen some predicted lineups with Lenormand in there, despite the fact that he's 1 yellow card away from suspension and he has started the last 2 games, which does seem a bit strange. Evening, Dylan. Do you think VAR will give Lukaku a break next match? I hope so. Even if I don't go for Lukaku in the end, I really hope so, because it's just a pain to watch. Here before the crowd, says Godsent. To be fair, there's quite a few people here already, and I do appreciate it. Keep smashing the like button, people. It'd be massively appreciated. Felix or Mbappe? Yeah, I see what you're saying. I'm also worried about Mbappe starting or not, but I'd recommend Mbappe over Joao Felix. My favourite Portugal attacker, though, for matchday 3 is Diogo Jota. I don't think Bruno Fernandes will start, to be honest. Yeah, I don't think he does. Latest news on Mbappe, I referenced it a couple of minutes ago as well. So he was in training today, he participated in some exercises, and he was out with a new mask. So things are looking positive. Yesterday he played against the under-21s of Paderborn, and I think he got a couple of goal contributions, 2 goals and 2 assists, I think, played around 60 minutes. So maybe he's in contention to start against Poland, but it's not a guarantee. Best Limitless suggestions, I've covered this extensively in my Best Limitless team video and also in the team selection where I covered the updated information, so to speak. So yeah, I've also referenced it a couple of minutes ago too. I'd recommend going for England defenders or Pickford in goal. I'd also go for at least 1 France defender, Mbappe up front if you back him to start, 1 of Lukaku or De Bruyne. I'd also still recommend Harry Kane or 1 of Saka and Bellingham in the midfield. You've also got, I'd say probably Oyarzabal is my favourite Spanish attacker. You've also got German defenders potentially, and I'd still recommend Musiala. I think he's going to start, and we'll find out the lineups for Germany, Switzerland, Scotland and Hungary in less than 1 hour's time. And once they're out, I'll be showing you on screen and we can react to it. Of course, I think CR7 is starting. Yeah, that crossed my mind as well, but I think it'll be Diogo Jota. I really do. Rafael Leao is suspended, of course, with 2 yellow cards, and the same goes for Rodri for Spain. But I think for Portugal, it will likely be João Felix, Diogo Jota, and Pedro Neto. What's up, Dylan? Is Ronaldo starting? It's possible, but I don't think so. Currently have Grimaldo and Oyarzabal, but I really like Ferran Torres. So do I, and I've got David Raya, but more on that later. I don't think Grimaldo is good in a back 4 system. Cucurella is much better. Well, Cucurella is favoured at the moment by the Spanish national team manager, De La Fuente. Yeah, I think in a back 3, Grimaldo would be much more appealing. But he's still worth a punt, I think. He can get ball recoveries and the assist threat is certainly there. Szoboszlai or Eriksen or both? I'd go for Eriksen. I do like Szoboszlai. I started this campaign with him. I'd go for Eriksen though. I've looked at Denmark's recent record against Serbia and it's been very impressive. I think it's 3-0, 3-1, 2-1. I might have gotten one of the results wrong, but Eriksen scored in the last meeting and I just think he's much more appealing in this tournament compared to Szoboszlai. No, I don't back Morata to start, as I mentioned earlier. I think it'll be Joselu down the middle with Dani Olmo and Oyarzabal as the wingers. You could also see Dani Olmo in a midfield position and a different winger being played, but ultimately I don't think Morata starts. Mbappe or Griezmann? Well, Griezmann is safer, right? You know he's going to start, and with Mbappe, it's a high risk, high reward scenario. I'd go for Mbappe. That's the way I'm looking at it at the moment. Hey Dylan, most nailed Portugal players. I think Antonio Silva or Gonzalo Inacio are the most likely to start at the back line. You've also got Nelson Semedo and potentially Dalot. That is the predicted back 4. And what I might do soon is go through UEFA's website and check most of the key predicted lineups that we need to go through. Yeah, you might be right there. So I said 2 of them. I didn't say Conceição. So thank you, Bruno. Obviously, you probably know something more than I do, given the name and the Portuguese background. So I appreciate it. Jesse says, hey Dylan, do you think Diogo Jota will start for Portugal? I think he will, yeah. Is he safe? Not necessarily. Why is DeMarco in your team? Isn't he injured? This is my team pre-Limitless, pre all the changes. This is not a Limitless team. This is how my squad was like in the last 2 match days. I scored very well in match day 2, so I'm back on track. But yeah, the Limitless has been activated and I have made 11 changes at the moment. When should I use Limitless? I'd say now, but it's ultimately team dependent. If you're happy with your squad, you expect most of your players to start, then you could save it for later. But I've always said it from the beginning. I think the Limitless is stronger in the group stages of UCL Fantasy, the World Cup and Euro Fantasy. And I'd save the wildcard for match day 5 if possible now. Hi Dylan, are you using the Limitless? Yes. Which German midfielder? I would go for Musiala and Gundogan is a close second. Gary says, hi Dylan, my team needs some new defenders. Which Spanish player should I bring in, please? I'd say Grimaldo, but Weiseng raised a good point about Grimaldo not being as solid in a back 4, but I still think he's a good option. Yeah, I know DeMarco is injured. I covered it earlier. He's not in my final team. Don't worry about that. He got me 4 points in match day 2, but I subbed him off for Wout Fass. So in the end, every single starting player for me delivered 5 points or more. So it was a very strong game week. Trent or Theo Hernandez / Koundé? I don't think Trent starts. I really don't. I would go for a French defender. Koundé gives you the ball recoveries. Theo Hernandez gives you the attacking potential. I'd probably go for Theo Hernandez because he's a bit more exciting to own, if you catch my drift. Yeah, all my Portuguese players you see on screen, even Bruno Fernandes, will be transferred out, unless before the deadline I see confirmation of Bruno, Cancelo or Diogo Costa starting. In that case, I'd retain them and bring them back in. Who's on the Limitless, Hakan Çalhanoğlu or Soufal? I'd rather go for Hakan, but I'm not a big fan of either. I don't think they're great. Bruno or Trossard, who's the priority sell? I think Trossard will be benched, and Bruno Fernandes will likely be benched as well, to be fair. So given that prediction, you'd likely sell Bruno Fernandes because he's more expensive. It opens up the doors a bit more for you. But yeah, it's just not an ideal scenario, and that's why the Limitless or Wildcard can really help out in matchday 3. Yeah, I just mentioned Gundogan. He's a close second for me, but Musiala is just a little bit above him in the pecking order. I'm actually thinking of dropping Kane for Jota or someone else. Yeah, that's understandable. If I do that, I'd likely go for Bellingham or Saka in the midfield. Pedri, Oyarzabal or Olmo. Pedri will likely not start. Spain have secured top spot. They're going to rotate heavily. I'd likely go for Oyarzabal. He's in my current Limitless team. Welcome, Arthur Nice. Good to see you. Yeah, we're getting a lot of questions in here, so I'll try to answer every single one of them. Try to be patient. I appreciate those that are doing so already. Yeah, Pedro Neto is looking good. He had a great season for Wolves, despite been struck with many injuries, as is typically the case with him. And yeah, for Portugal, I just think he's a great impact sub. Maybe he's not the same when he starts games, but when he comes off the bench fresh against tired legs, he is a very difficult player to play against. I'm looking for a Scotland midfielder and defender. I wouldn't say it's a good idea because, look, McTominay could be a shout. I saw John, one of the channel members, the longest channel member actually, talk about McTominay. I'm more on board with that. But a Scottish defender, yeah, Robertson with a bit of assist threat, but it's nowhere near to the same level as we see with Liverpool. So yeah, McTominay and Robertson would be the ones I'd recommend, but no one else really. Will Costa start? No, he wouldn't. I don't think so. It'll probably be Jose Sarr or Rui Patricio. No. I think with Portugal, if I were to go for any of their players, it will be Diogo Jota up front and one of Gonzalo Inacio or Antonio Silva in the backline. Which player is the latest surprise matchday free pick? I'd say Oyarzabal or Dani Olmo, and I've currently got Oyarzabal. Will Bernardo play for Portugal? Not in matchday free, in my opinion. I think Portugal will likely rotate very heavily. At least 7 changes, in my opinion. It's a bit pointless to ask which players from Portugal or Spain are good choices when we don't have any information about the lineups and each of us can basically spin roulette and try to hit. Yeah, you got a point there, but I still think both teams are likely to rotate. Some reliable sources, especially with Spain, indicate that Spain are going to go for a completely different lineup with Raya in goal, go for Dani Olmo, and give these fringe players like Oyarzabal an opportunity to compete for a starting spot in the round of 16. No, it's not my Limitless team. DeMarco, for example, is injured. He's missing matchday 3. Be sure to sell DeMarco if possible. And also, I've made 11 changes overall at the moment. Actually, now that I've made a late switch of Lukaku out, might be actually 12 changes. So, yeah, this is not my team at the moment. I'll show you very soon. Torres or Joselu? Yeah, so I did mention earlier my predicted front 3 for Spain. So yeah, I think it'll be Ferran Torres, Oyarzabal on the wings, Joselu down the middle, and Dani Olmo as one of the 3 midfielders. I'd still go for Ferran Torres, but I think they're both good options. Is Sane likely to start? We're going to find out in just half an hour, so I don't think it's worth speculating about Germany too much, to be honest, but I don't think he will. Remember with Germany, they might rotate in 1 or 2 positions. That's completely fair, like Füllkrug for Havertz or Raum for Mittelstadt, but they haven't secured top spot yet. They're facing Switzerland, who, if they lose to them and Switzerland get the victory, they will be on 7 points and Germany will be on 6. So that completely changes the complexion of the round of 16 and the knockouts for Germany. So I really don't think they're going to rotate too much. And Sane hasn't looked good, in my opinion. Is Kane starting? Yeah, 100%. He might have been subbed off early. He had an overall bad performance, I'd say, but he's probably England's best player, if not their second best player. He's not going to be benched, in my opinion. I'd be very shocked if that happened. I honestly don't think it'll happen. Gakpo or take a risk on Mbappe? I like Gakpo. I really do. He had a great match day 1, particularly in the first half against Poland. But I'd rather take a risk on Mbappe, which is what I'm doing at the moment. Let's refrain from asking about who's starting because none of us actually know. Yeah, no, that's fair, but we're still going to get the questions for the next hour or so, and that's where all the interest is, and I understand it, but yeah, I'll try not to go for it too much because otherwise this stream might become very repetitive fast, and I want to avoid that if possible. But I'm going to show you my current Limitless team very soon because it isn't locked in, and to those that, you know, I always say this, that maybe just wait for a, I don't know, content creator or someone who just makes videos or is engaged in the community to, you know, post their team and then copy. I wouldn't recommend that. You saw how I did in match day 1, awful start. Yes, I bounced back in match day 2, but you can always do better by going for your own picks. That's the way I see it, but obviously everyone is different. So we are close to 100 likes. Be sure to smash the like button, especially if I answered your question or if you're finding this entertaining or useful. We will only know Group A lineups before deadline. Exactly. But with Spain, for example, reliable sources indicate that the likes of Raya, Oyarzabal, and these players I've talked about are going to start. And so you can kind of make an educated guess based on those resources. But, of course, it's not set in stone. How's your predictions for the match day 3? I'll go through that too as well. I think I've gone for 2-1 Germany and 2-1 Hungary, but I'll probably change them. No, I don't think Germany keep a clean sheet. I've also looked at the recent record against Switzerland. I think there's a 3-3 draw in there in a recent meeting. They've drawn 1-1 a couple of times. A very balanced fixture. I don't think Germany keep a clean sheet. but there is still a possibility that I go for a Mittelstadt, maybe a Rudiger in the back line, or Manuel Neuer in goal. At the moment, I have no German defender or goalkeeper. Top 3 defenders for ball recoveries. Difficult to judge because I still think there's a long way to go. For example, Wout Faes was incredible in Matchday 1 for ball recoveries. Didn't do as much in Matchday 2. The same goes for Koundé, but I'd still argue both of them are right up there. Maybe not in the top 3, but still, my point does stand there. At the moment, I'm going to check the top ball recoveries. Actually, they don't have it now. So in UCL Fantasy, for example, on the same website, UEFA.com, they would have a ball recovery tier list, and it shows you who has the most. Unfortunately, we don't have that here. But let's actually have a quick look now and see who has been the best. I think, if I'm not mistaken, let's see. Yeah, so the Slovenian right back, I'm going to try not to mispronounce his name. I'll call him Zan. Zan Karnasic. He is right up there with 17 ball recoveries, so he's definitely one to look at. Yeah, let's check the others. No, I wouldn't go for him. I think Van Dijk is up there. I wouldn't say top 3, but he's someone that springs to mind for me. Jules Koundé, Wout Faes, Marc Guéhi has been incredible for ball recoveries too. So that's a top 5 for you. It's not perfect, but I think those would definitely fit the bill. Ferran Torres, Yamal or Joselu? I don't think Yamal will start. Why Højbjerg over Eriksen, mate? I started the campaign with Højbjerg because of budget. Højbjerg won man of the match in Matchday 2, by the way, against England. He's good for ball recoveries. I explained the pick some time ago. I'm not going for him on the Limitless. What you see on screen is my pre-Limitless team. I'll be showing you my current Limitless draft very soon. It isn't locked in, though. I have to stress that. Thank you, by the way, to Goldhead for moderating the chat and to all the other mods for keeping things in check. I don't think Pedri's a good option in Matchday 3 because he probably won't play. I really think that. And Pedri is playing more of a attacking role in this Spanish side. But I honestly believe he is better as a conductor, deeper, in a deeper position, and everything goes through him. I think that's where you see the best of Pedri. Any news on England lineup? Luke Shaw will probably not play. He still hasn't trained yet, so you could see Trippier on the left-hand side once again, and I am tempted to go for Trippier over Marc Guéhi, but with ball recoveries, I don't think anyone beats Marc Guéhi in that England setup, but Trippier could be on set pieces if Trent Alexander-Arnold drops to the bench, which I think will be the case. What's your prediction of Romania-Slovakia game? I think I've gone for a 1-0 Romania, but I might change that. Mbappe or Jota? I'd probably go for Jota. In most of my Limitless drafts since the team selection yesterday, I've gone for Jota. And with Mbappe, I'm still unsure if he starts or not. Which forwards can defend the price tag based on their performance so far? That's a good question. I think a lot of the big hitters have been disappointing. Mbappe obviously got injured in Matchday 1 and didn't play particularly well. Harry Kane obviously, I'd say, very anonymous against Serbia, and he scored the opening goal against Denmark, but also gave away the ball, which led to Højlund's goal. I'd have to think about that because I honestly don't think the big hitters have really delivered. It's probably the mid-price players and Mikalce from Georgia who have really stepped up and offered tremendous value. Any Spanish defender? I'm currently going for Grimaldo and David Raya in goal. That's what I'm looking at. Yeah, I know that, Pedro. I've discussed this in all my videos, and obviously a lot of them were recorded. Well, actually, in fact, all of them were recorded before Portugal played, but I always expected them to beat Turkey quite comfortably. So I talked about alternatives for all of those positions in the case that Portugal got the result, which they did. Italy clean sheet? Possible, but I don't think so. I think Croatia score. I'm kind of between a 2-1 Italy win or a 1-1 draw. Any Netherlands or Austria assets on Limitless? Baumgartner is still a decent option for Austria. And as for the Netherlands, I'm interested in Xavi Simons, Gakpo, one of Van Dijk, Frimpong and Ake. Verbruggen in goal is a tremendous goalkeeper. Apart from that, not really, but I did mention quite a lot from Netherlands, to be fair. What team do you think will get a clean sheet this game week? France, England, Portugal. Anyone else? Yeah, I'd say Spain, but Albania have just always scored these early goals and, it kind of deflates your confidence a little bit and you're like, okay, well, there you go, no clean sheet. But yeah, I'd say those are the teams that really stand out. Yeah, you're right, Akanji's also up there for ball recoveries. Yeah. What Fascina Kanji, that's true. Mbappe going to play? I think so, but I'm not absolutely sure, which is why Mbappe isn't locked in on my Limitless. Yeah, Mark Gay is great for ball recoveries, as we've mentioned. I completely agree. Jeremy Doku, he had a good performance in Matchday 2, but as always, his delivery, his final end product is very underwhelming. Advice on who to sell Rodri and Bruno to? I'd say Bruno to KDB if you can, and Rodri to... I mean, I don't know what chip you're playing. You know, that also plays a big part. But two of my favourite midfielders this week would be Eriksen and Kevin De Bruyne. Thoughts on Jota? One of the most appealing forwards this game week, but Portugal could struggle because they rotate heavily, which is what I'm expecting. But yeah, I do like Diogo Jota. I really do. DeMarco is injured. He is. He's not my final team. I have to make that very clear. Dragusin, a good option. Decent for ball recoveries. A clean sheet is possible against Slovakia. But he's not going to be in my final team. I'm very, very sure of that. Let's wait and see if I end up sticking with it. Eriksen or Oyarzabal? Eriksen. Højbjerg, Eriksen or Gundogan? Probably Eriksen. Lukaku and Højbjerg or Gakpo and Eriksen? Gakpo and Eriksen. Hey Dylan, what do you think about Limitless? Says Joaquin. Neuer, Casteels, Ake, Grimaldo, Gay, Koundé, Hernandez, Szoboszlai, Gundogan, Eriksen, Oyarzabal, Mbappe, Lukaku, Kane, De Bruyne. Looks good to me. My setup is quite similar. I do have two different goalkeepers though. I did have Ake in one draft, but I did get rid of him. I think the rest of the defense is the same. The midfield as well. I do prefer Musiala over Gundogan, but I see why you've gone for Gundogan. The rest of the midfield looks great. The attacking line as well. If Mbappe starts, I have no problems with it whatsoever. Yeah, I think Belgium are fine for clean sheets. It's not locked in. If I'm ranking the kind of teams in terms of clean sheet chances, I think Belgium will be 5th or 6th. So I'd rank England higher, probably France, Portugal, arguably Spain. Yeah, I'd say Belgium are probably 5th in my list in terms of clean sheets. I might go for Casteels in the end and not double up on Spain defensively. That's something I'm considering. Yeah, I think Gundogan's good for Matchday 3. He's in my current team. Is Limitless chip useless in the knockouts? Not useless, but I think it has much more value in Matchday 3 because, as I mentioned, you get a 5 million increase in Matchday 4 to your budget. So it makes it much easier to build a very strong 15-man squad. Ivan says Pickford or Maignan. I'd go for Pickford. And for those of you that might be thinking, why not both? They play on the same day, and with goalkeepers, you don't want to have that situation. You want one playing on the 24th, for example, and one on the 25th. Sell Lukaku and Ronaldo. The only reason I'd sell Ronaldo is because I don't think he'll start. Otherwise, he's kind of a lock-in. I think the fixture's great against Georgia. As for Lukaku, I mean, he's just cursed, isn't he? He really is. Morfado in Spanish, obviously, for those of you that speak that. Yeah, look, I think Lukaku can deliver. It's about time he scores. He's getting so many chances every single game. I think he played quite well against Romania. But yeah, I'd definitely sell Ronaldo because I personally don't think he'll start. Christensen, good option. He's okay. I don't think Denmark keep a clean sheet, but actually, let's scratch that. I think in my current prediction, I've gone for 1-0 Denmark, but I'm not as sure about that compared to Belgium, compared to the other 5 teams I've mentioned before, like France, England, etc. But yeah, I think he's a decent option. Ball recoveries, he's got the odd goal in him, and a clean sheet is possible against the low-scoring Serbia side. I've currently got Mbappe on the Limitless, but he's not locked in. I might get rid of him. I don't think Fabian Ruiz will play either. Thoughts on Griezmann instead of Mbappe? He's a safer option, should I say. But Mbappe is more exciting, and I think if Mbappe starts, he's got a great chance of a massive haul against Poland. Ronaldo or Jota? Jota, because I think he'll start, whilst Ronaldo will likely be benched. Also Mæhle, bit similar to Christensen. Now with Mæhle, he's less nailed. You've got that rotation with Bar going on and Christensen on the left, but you could actually see now another fullback change where this time Christensen drops to the bench and you see Mæhle being shifted to the left and then Bar playing on the right. I think he will start, and as a result, he's a decent option against Serbia. Kane or Mbappe, I would go for Harry Kane. Will Fermin Lopez play? A lot of reports I've seen indicate that Fermin Lopez will play, so the answer is yes, but take that with a pinch of salt. It's not locked in. Costa will start, or Rui Patricio. I think it'll be Jose Sa, but that's not also locked in either. Yeah, I think Mbappe will start, but I'm kind of 60-40 on it. Maybe even 50-50. It's honestly a tough call. Already have KDB, Eriksen, and Szoboszlai. 2 free transfers for the transfers of Rodri and Bruno out. Right, okay. I'd say Musiala still. I know Switzerland is tough, but Musiala's having a great tournament. I'd also consider Bellingham or Saka. So one of those 3 as your kind of more expensive pick. But I'm guessing... Oh, you did retract the comment. But yeah, another kind of cheaper midfielder would possibly be... Oh, there is options, to be fair. I still like Kante for the ball recoveries. That's another one. What's a good Portuguese defender? I'd say Antonio Silva or Gonzalo Inacio, who's only 4.5 million. My favourite is probably Antonio Silva. He was very good for ball recoveries back in UCL Fantasy last season, or should I say the season before last now. And yeah, I think in just 20 minutes the other day, he actually got 2 ball recoveries. So yeah, I'd probably say Antonio Silva is my favourite. It's between Van Dijk, Ake, and Frimpong as the best Netherlands defender. Right now, I'd probably give Ake the edge. He's also got a bit of attacking threat with the assists. And yeah, I'd say Van Dijk is the best for ball recovery. So one of those 2. If you're backing Frimpong to start, he's exciting. But I'd just be a bit careful about going for Grimaldo, Theo Hernandez, and Frimpong, who are all suspect of being subbed off around 60 minutes, should we say. Heidel Gakpo or Diogo Jota for differential. I've currently gone for Diogo Jota, so that's my answer. But I think they're both good options. Who's Spain's starting goalkeeper? For Matchday 3, I think it will be David Raya. And that's what a lot of Spanish outlets indicate as well. Belgium defence or German? Which player would you suggest based on your choices? Good question. Probably Belgium. Now, in my current predictions, which I'll show you very soon, I've gone for 2-1 Belgium and 2-1 Germany. But I do think Belgium are slightly more likely to keep a clean sheet based on how Ukraine have played in this tournament. I think Switzerland, yeah, a bit underwhelming against Scotland, but I just think they're a tough cookie to crack. They've got a decent record against Germany in recent meetings, if I'm not mistaken. So I'd probably say Casteels or Wout Faes to cover Belgium defensively is my favourite. Thoughts on Foden? Yeah, he hasn't had a great tournament so far, but a better performance in Matchday 2. Signs of encouragement and of possible improvement going into Matchday 3. Great fixture on paper. I think England will turn the screws on, probably win by 2 or 3, and Foden could be a nice, I want to say differential, but on the Limitless, he could be something a bit unique, I'd say. I do prefer Saka or Bellingham in the midfield, and it goes without saying Harry Kane up front is even better. But Phil Foden, I think is worth a punt. He definitely is. Do you think I should captain Szoboszlai? Well, I'm not really against it because if it fails, you've got Spanish or Italian players tomorrow, maybe even Croatian. You've also got the likes of Mbappe or Griezmann, Harry Kane, Bellingham on the Tuesday. And you've also got more options on the Wednesday from Portugal or Belgium. So I'm not against it. Now, do I prefer Szoboszlai over Musiala or Gundogan? No, I don't. But the fixture is better for Szoboszlai and Hungary. Højbjerg or Eriksen? I'd recommend Eriksen if money is no issue. Netherlands got robbed of a clear goal. Yeah, so basically 2 of the worst refereeing performances were by English refs, Michael Oliver and Anthony Taylor. So yeah, let's not talk about that too much. Is Doku a good option? Limitless active. He's okay, but he's a forward in this game. I'd honestly rather go for a Spanish attacker like Ferran Torres, for example, or... Yeah, I think Ferran Torres is classified as a forward in this game. I'd also likely go for a Diogo Jota, Griezmann, Mbappe, Harry Kane, Lukaku. I just think Doku is lower down in the pecking order, and I still prefer Lukaku. Best midfield and forwards on Limitless. I have covered this in the Limitless team selection videos. So kind of roughly speaking, I'd say Mbappe, if you back him to start, Harry Kane, Lukaku. In the midfield, you can go for De Bruyne, Musiala, Gundogan, Bellingham, and Eriksen. So I think it's quite simple to build, you know, a very strong midfield 5 and front 3. The question is that balance, if you have too many attacking double-ups or if you want to diversify things a little bit. Kante for Rodri or someone else? I think that's fine, to be fair. If you can afford Eriksen, though, I'd highly recommend it. Well, what I feel about Mbappe is that it's risky, but I've currently got him at the moment. Hey Dylan, will Sane and Gundogan start today? So yeah, I'll answer this question now, but I have to say there's no point talking about Germany too much because literally in 20 minutes we're going to get the lineup, so there's no need for speculation. I think Musiala and Gundogan start and not Leroy Sane. Remember, Germany have to go strong, or I believe they should go strong, because if Switzerland beat them, they will go top and Germany will get a tougher route to the final if they finish second. Do you prefer Ronaldo over Mbappe, Kane or Lukaku? No, because I think he'll be benched. What team would you use ×2 prediction or booster for the match prediction? I think I've currently gone for Portugal, but I might change that because they'll likely rotate and Georgia have much more to play for, which could result in an interesting matchup. Soy décimo en mi liga, mejor diferencial para la jornada 3, Limitless activo. Mejor diferencial. Me gusta Oyarzabal de España. Si no tienes a Ferran Torres o quizás Dani Olmo como mediocampista. En la defensa me gusta Antonio Silva o Gonzalo Inacio. Es probable que Portugal van a hacer muchos cambios, pero creo que uno de ellos van a tener una buena oportunidad de tener una valla invicta y recuperar la pelota, especialmente Antonio Silva. Otro diferencial, seguro que hay. Gakpo en contra Austria, me gusta bastante, pero creo que Diogo Jota es otro que puede anotar algunos goles y creo que va a empezar el partido en contra Georgia también. Best Spain mediocampista, maybe Oyarzabal. I think so too. He's currently in my team. Lukaku would be top scorer if it wasn't for 2 minimal offsides and an unlucky handball. Yeah, but he's offside. Obviously, it's very unlucky. We're talking about very fine margins, but he is offside, unfortunately. Thoughts on Rice, as he's great for ball recoveries? Yeah, it's just with England, I'd rather go for Mark Gay, Pickford, Trippier in the midfield, which is obviously a more fair comparison. You've got Bellingham, Saka, Foden, who are much more exciting, Harry Kane up front, but in terms of a cheap midfielder, I think Rice is pretty decent for ball recoveries, that is true. He wasn't great in UCL Fantasy though, which did surprise me, but he has been quite good in terms of ball recoveries in this format. Yeah, we are getting some questions spammed a lot, and I have to say, I don't know what you lot are doing, like, try not to spam the chat, please. We're going to go through different questions. Thank you to those that are tuning in, that have liked the video already. Let's get this video to over 200 likes nice and early, and then afterwards we'll be pushing on towards 300 and then 400. That is the aim. And also to get to 25,000 subscribers, it'd be massively appreciated. So thank you very much. Let me just deal with some spammers now, a little bit. All right, so yeah, we are literally, I'd say 40 minutes away from getting a confirmed Germany lineup. We might even get it within the next few minutes. I'm having a look now at the UEFA website. So let's see. Yeah, at the moment there's nothing, but give it time. We should get the Group A lineups very soon. And yeah, I'll be watching the games, of course. I might still be streaming though for a little bit. It's not a watch along, but just for a few minutes after the deadline passes, I'd be happy to still talk to all of you as well. I play Limitless in Matchday 2. Do I play Wildcard in Matchday 3? Depends on your team. If you've got a lot of changes to make, a lot of rotation risks, you've got DeMarco and other injury concerns, then I would play the wildcard now. If Mbappe doesn't wear a Donatello or Michelangelo mask, I'm going to do unspeakable things to a... Okay, well, calm down, calm down. Yeah, look, I don't think he's going to do that, to be honest. It's kind of like inviting a bit of banter. So yeah, I don't think that will happen. I heard from the Portuguese assistant coach kid that Antonio Silva will start. Well, I think he will. And actually, Antonio Silva is in my current Limitless team as well. It's not set in stone, of course, but I don't know, you probably have some information I don't. And I always encourage people from, you know, these countries that are involved. They will have much more background information and knowledge than I do. And I always encourage that discussion. As a Portuguese, my bet is on Antonio Silva. Yeah, I'm on board completely. I agree with you. We probably will play a 4-3-3, and he is the main option on that tactic instead of Inacio. Yeah. We could see both of them start together, right? But maybe you're, you know, correct there, and you see Gonzalo Inacio as the bench player. I've currently got Antonio Silva. I think he's better for ball recoveries, which he showed for Benfica in the Champions League 2 seasons ago in UCL Fantasy. I think Mbappe will play Sergio. I cannot guarantee it. I really can't. Jesus, some questions, I don't know what more to say. You know what, I'm not even going to say anything more. Let's keep it PG. And let's keep things moving. But yeah, this, I don't know why the chat isn't allowing me to moderate things. Give me a second. All right. By the way, let me check something because surely I didn't miss this. Okay, yeah, I did. So this got lost in a sea of messages. Thank you, Julio Pena, as always, for the super chats. Let me just get it up on screen now. As always, you're massively appreciated, Julio Pena. So, best defenders and forwards on the Limitless. So, forwards, I'd probably go for Mbappe if you back him to start, Harry Kane, and one of Lukaku or Diogo Jota. And if you're not backing Mbappe to start, then just go for the other three. Now, there are alternatives, of course, in this position, but I think those are the ones that really stand out to me. In the midfield, I'd say Kevin De Bruyne, Musiala, Eriksen, maybe Bellingham. Maybe Bellingham. I don't have him at the moment in my team. I've gone for Gundogan. And another midfielder would possibly be, it's kind of escaping me right now, but let me just have a quick look here. Yeah, I'd say an Oyarzabal. I really would. I think one Spanish attack is decent, and you can go for Ferran Torres up front if you wish, but yeah, Oyarzabal in the midfield really intrigues me. So to kind of reiterate there, up front, I'd say Jota, Kane, and Lukaku, or Mbappe. In the midfield, Oyarzabal, Eriksen, Gundogan, Musiala, and De Bruyne. But of course, you've got Bellingham, you've got alternatives like Wirtz as well, and you've even got cheaper options who can still do the job on the Limitless, for example. So yeah, I think that would pretty much answer your question. And yeah, let me know what you think of that. So thank you, Julio Pena, as always. Yeah, Germany lineup is out, same as always. Yeah, I know. I kept getting these messages and comments saying, wow, you think Musiala's going to start and stuff like that? I mean, I can't stress enough. They're facing Switzerland, and if they lose, they're going to finish second in the group. You can't afford to rest a lot of players, lose that game, and get a much tougher round of 16. It really just doesn't make sense to me. So let's go through the lineups right now. Just going to confirm it myself. Yeah, Switzerland's lineup is also out. So thank you to, I think it's Sudhindra, who pointed out, and a few others. Yeah, Hungary's lineup is also out. So let's get cracking. Let's keep racking the likes up, and let's go for some different screens right now. Let's see if this bloody, what's it called? This stream deck is working. So yeah, thank you to Gonzalo as well. No rotation with Germany. You are correct. Bruno Fernandes or Eriksen? Eriksen, because I don't think Fernandes starts. So. And one more question before I go into the lineup. Is DeMarco injured? Yes. All the reports indicate that DeMarco is out. He wasn't in training today. Yeah, you're correct there. He's not going to play. So let's go through this. Yeah, no, this bloody thing is unreliable. I don't know what's happening with the Stream Deck. So let me see if I can fix it now. But I'm not sure if I can, actually. I'm going to have to look at a long-term solution for this. So yeah, apologies, but I'm just trying to fix this. Just makes the transitions easy and stuff, but this bloody thing is not working properly. I'm going to try this solution first, actually. Hopefully that doesn't do anything stupid. Okay. All right, for now, I'm just going to do this. So, yeah, no, I'm definitely not relying on this piece of machinery. So, let's go through the Germany lineup. So, unchanged, as people said in the chat already. Manuel Neuer in goal, Rudiger, Tah, Kimmich, Havertz, Kroos, Musiala, Wirtz, Mittelstadt, Gundogan, and Andrik. For Switzerland, we've got Sommer, Widmer, Akanji, Embolo, Freuler, Xhaka, Ricardo Rodriguez, Ndoi, Abisha, Cher, and Ryder. So, yeah, not too many surprises. Shaqiri drops to the bench after playing 60 minutes against Scotland and scoring a great goal. He'll probably be an impact sub. But yeah, those are the lineups. Germany are unchanged, and it really shouldn't be a surprise. At the moment, I've got Musiala and Gundogan in my Limitless team. I'm considering Neuer or a German defender. Maybe Mittelstadt comes back in. And Gundogan might make way, to be fair. But I think Musiala is fairly locked in on my Limitless. As for Scotland versus Hungary, so Gunn is in goal with Ralston, Robertson, McTominay, Hanley, McGinn, McGregor, Adams, Hendry, Gilmore, and who's the other player I haven't said because now everything's changed now? McKenna. As for Hungary, we've got Galashi. Jesus, my eyesight is terrible. Orban. Basically, yeah, Schaefer, Styles, Bola, Kirkez, Szoboszlai, Salai, Varga. So not really any surprises there. I think there might be one change in the backline, possibly two, but yeah, most of this is pretty much what we've discussed and predicted lineups videos and podcasts from a couple of weeks back. But yeah, I think everyone is really interested in Germany. From this game, it's only Szoboszlai that attracts interest, and he is playing despite having a few fitness concerns in the last couple of days. But He's been recovering well. He's in the line. Let's see, by the way, if this works again. I'm going to give this one more bloody chance. So, let's see if that works. Yeah, it actually worked. Okay, well done. That solution worked for the Stream Deck. So, this, what you see on screen, is my current Limitless team. It's not locked in. I have to stress this. Don't copy, but there's still going to be people who do that. It is what it is. I'll probably make a few changes, I think, especially Mbappe, who isn't locked into my team. Gundogan, I think, is also on thin ice. I know I've never had him in Euro Fantasy before. He's been very good in the first 2 match days, but I might want to go for a bit more diversity in the midfield. I've got a few defensive double-ups, as you can see, with Spain, David Raya and Grimaldo. I've got Theo Hernandez and Saliba, Mark Gay and Pickford, and I've got Antonio Silva. As for the midfield, I've got De Bruyne, Eriksen, 2 German midfielders, and Oyarzabal. Up front, Jota, Kane, and Mbappe. But I think it's between Mbappe and Lukaku for me for that final forward spot. If I get confirmation of Mbappe starting, then maybe it's between Jota and Lukaku. I know a lot of you are doubting Harry Kane right now, but honestly, Slovenia is a great opposition for him. But let's now go to the predictor, and yeah, a lot of you do ask about this. So I've gone for 2-1 Hungary, but I'll probably change these results. 2-1 Germany with Kai Havertz to score first and Varga for Hungary. I've gone for 1-1 between Croatia and Italy with Kramaric to score first, which I think he actually scored Croatia's first goal in the last game against Albania. Speaking of which, I think they'll lose 2-0 to a rotated Spain. And I've gone for Oyarzabal to score the first goal. I might change that. France 2, Poland 0 with Mbappe to score first. If he's in the lineup, I do adjust these once I see the lineups if I have time. Netherlands 2, Austria 1 with Depay to score first. I think I'm going to change this to Gakpo, but whenever I do something like that and I change it, whether it's first goal scorer or a scoreline, it ends up being the original prediction that ends up ringing true. 1-0 Denmark with Eriksen to score. England 2-0 against Slovenia with Harry Kane to score first, which also worked out against Denmark. 2-1 Belgium with De Bruyne to score first. And these predictions were made before any of the Matchday 2 fixtures, actually, so bear that in mind. 1-0 Romania. I think it's Dragos to score first. Yeah, Dragos to score first. 2-1 Turkey. And did I go for Yildiz to score first? Yeah, I did. I might change this one. I've gone for 3-0 Portugal, but I might change this to a 2-0 because they'll likely rotate. And I don't think Ronaldo will score first. Probably Diogo Jota, depending on who starts there up front for Portugal. But yeah, I think a lot of these predictions are subject to changes. They really are. So one poll that will be of interest to you, you can go to my channel and vote yourself, is do you expect Mbappe to start in Matchday 3? 72% of you have said yes. Only 28% have gone for the opposite answer. I'll refresh the page and see if there's any big changes, but I think it'll be the exact same, just more votes being made. So let me know in the live chat. Do you think Mbappe starts, yes or no? Will you be involving him in your Limitless or Wildcard teams? He is still owned by almost half of the game, but his ownership has decreased dramatically in the last couple of weeks. He was almost owned by 80% at some point. Now it's 48%, but that could definitely change before the deadline. So yeah, the lineups we've covered already. Germany are unchanged. Szoboszlai starts. Not many changes in general, really, across all of the teams. Probably Switzerland and Hungary are the 2 countries with the most changes in their 11. And also one more thing, be sure to join the FPL Dylan League. The code is JCRHjQ, all in capitals except the J. There is an auto-join link in the description below. Click it and you join. It's very simple. You've also got the league code to copy and paste to your browser or your app. So be sure to join and see if you can win the FPL Dylan mini league as well. But let's now go back to my pre-Limitless team, and very shortly I'll discuss my Limitless squad and what I could do to improve things. We've got just over 1 hour left until the deadline. We know the lineups. Germany are unchanged, and now it's about finding that balance and picking the best options from these countries. From today's matches, I think the only players that really appeal to me are Szoboszlai, Gundogan, Musiala, Kai Havertz, probably Mittelstadt or Rudiger, and Neuer. Apart from that, I'm not expecting anything from Robertson, who would be the next kind of player in line, and anybody else really just doesn't really cross my mind. I like Varga as a cheap option, but on the Limitless, I think there are better to pick from in the forward line. Well, I did show you an updated Jesus, fucking voice crack. I'll update Limitless team in the team selection video. So I've already done that. And yeah, just a few minutes ago, I also showed you what my current squad is, but it's not locked in. So just bear that in mind. I'm using Limitless. It's in the, if I'm not mistaken, it's in the title, isn't it? Are Bernardo Silva, Cucurella, Dalot going to start? I'd say no, yes. I think Dallow's the only one who starts. Szoboszlai or Scott McTominay? Szoboszlai. Koundé or Hernandez? Ball recoveries or attacking potential? On a Limitless, I'd go for Theo Hernandez. A bit more exciting. Bastoni, good option. Yeah, I think from Italy, Donnarumma, Bastoni, probably the two best options. I don't think Italy keep a clean sheet though. I've gone for 1-1. Emmanuel Davila says, saludos, ¿consideras esta sea buena fecha para Limitless? Creo que sí, es lo que estoy haciendo yo. En la jornada 4 tenemos transferencias sin límite y también tienes un aumento de 5 millones en cuánto dinero tienes. Así que para mí es mejor usar el Limitless ahora en la jornada 3. Frimpong or Saliba Koundé? I'd go for Saliba. Have 5 players who won't play. Should I use wildcard? I'd say so, because to really maximize the 50-man squad, the great fixtures, and to not take hits, I think the wildcard really helps you. People forget that it's head-to-head in the group and not goal difference. Exactly that. Exactly that. And if Switzerland win, they get 7 points. Germany are stuck on 6. So, yeah, it's really important. The only two teams that will heavily rotate, in my opinion, are Spain and Portugal. I think everybody else are going to go strong, including France, who have got Austria and Netherlands breathing down their neck with similar point tallies. I think Mbappe plays, but it's not locked in. That's why I might sell him. I've currently got a double up in the German midfield there, Sunindra. But I do have Eriksen as well. So my recommendation is Musiala and Eriksen. Double up in Spain attack is fine, but I think one's enough. ¿Qué equipo vas a usar? Lo voy a mostrar muy pronto, pero ya creo que hace 5 o 10 minutos que mostré mi equipo y algunas cosas pueden cambiar también. Do you play Sores? I have played it before, and I was sponsored by them, but I don't play it right now. Yes, he starts, I believe, says Godson. Yeah, I think Dalot plays as well. I agree. Now, with Portugal, it's difficult to predict. I think Nelson Semedo starts, maybe Dalot on the left-hand side, whilst Cancelo and Nuno Mendes are rested. They're the two main fullbacks. Yeah, I think Grimaldo starts. Spain will likely rotate heavily. Best Spain picks will be David Raya, Grimaldo, Oyarzabal. I think those are my favourites. Then you've got the likes of Ferran Torres and Dani Olmo. That's the top 5 overall. I wouldn't really consider anybody else apart from them, but of course, Euro Fantasy is full of surprises. I don't think Trent plays. Thank you very much, Constantinos. I am from a Spanish-speaking country, so if I didn't speak decent Spanish, I'd be in big, big trouble. Trust Havertz, he's okay. I bought him and captained him in Matchday 2, and that was a disaster. But yeah, he's a fine option still, but I'm not going for him on the Limitless. I don't think so. He'll probably score now, so enjoy the points. Yeah, Dragos from Romania, yeah. I just put him to score first, and I don't think it'll be a high-scoring game between Slovakia and Romania, so I wouldn't recommend him. You know, if you're using a wild card or normal transfers and you need a budget forward, fair enough. I'd rather go for him than Mikalce because he's facing Portugal. You think Dalot will start? Yes. Ronaldo, Lukaku. Jesse says, which Portugal midfielder to pick for this match day? I'm not really a big fan of the Portuguese midfielders right now. You know, Bruno Fernandes and Bernardo Silva are the two best. They'll likely be benched. You could be looking at Ruben Neves in the midfield. You know what? I'm going to go for some predicted lineups now before I go back into my team and finalise the Limitless. So thank you for raising that question. Szoboszlai or Eriksen? I've gone for Eriksen, Diogo. I think they're both good options. It's quite close between those two, but I'm going to go for Eriksen, I think. Hernandez or Koundé? I've gone for Hernandez, and I've also gone for Saliba. But Koundé is probably the best for ball recoveries out. I will accept that. This is my pre-Limitless team, as I mentioned. I don't have in my squad. Don't worry about it. I've mentioned it a few times in the stream. DeMarco is injured. He's going to miss matchday 3. Don't go for him. Nita and Eriksen or Casteels and Kante? Probably Nita and Eriksen, but very, very close. Best goalkeepers on Limitless? Probably Pickford and David Raya. That's what I've gone for. Thoughts on Navas? Yeah, it could be a decent punt at right back. I don't think Carvalho will start, but I do prefer Grimaldo. Captain Musiala or Gundogan? I'm going for Musiala right now. Saka or Bellingham? Bellingham. Musiala, Gundogan, Musiala. But as I've always said in the last month or so, Saka has a much better record for the national team compared to Bellingham. Keep Cancelo and Bruno. No, I don't think they'll start. So yeah, let's go for some different... Well, I'll just answer these two quickly. Will Ronaldo play? I say no. And Trent, I think, will be dropped to the bench as well. Jota or Ferran Torres? Jota for me. So let's now go to the predicted lineups. This will probably answer some of your questions. A lot of the questions today are about, is this player going to start? Albania, I don't think will be of much interest to many of you, so I'm not going to go into that too much, but it looks like it'll be a very identical starting 11. Maybe you see Haisaj or Haisaj being dropped to the bench. I have been told about the pronunciations there with Albanian players. So you could see Baliu at right back, but yeah, apart from that, not really too much should be different. As for Austria, yeah, you will likely see an unchanged 11. Baumgartner is definitely the player of interest there, and Sabitzer is still a decent option. As for Belgium, Leandro Trossard is very unlikely to start, so you'll see maybe Castells, Castagna, Fass, Vertonghen, Thiat, Tielemans, Onana, De Bruyne, Doku, Lukaku, and Bakayoko. And of course, on the UEFA website, you do see a very useful section in terms of suspended players or players that are at risk of suspension. And remember, in this competition, with just 2 yellow cards, you miss the next game. And that's why Rodri is unavailable for Matchday 3. Then you go to Croatia. You wouldn't expect too many changes, but they've started so poorly that maybe they need to freshen things up a little bit, particularly in the backline, which looks very shaky. Czech Republic as well. It looks like Patrick Schick is a major doubt. He came off of an injury against Georgia after scoring. Denmark as well. Yeah, I think the main issue with this lineup is the fullbacks. So it's between Mæhle, Christensen and Bar. One of them will be benched, of course, and who knows at this point. But I think Mæhle will start. Eriksen is definitely the player to highlight in this fixture. Højbjerg did win man of the match for me in Matchday 2, and I've always said he's a good punt in Euro Fantasy, so I'm happy with him. But Eriksen is definitely the standout. Then we go to, thank you for the pop-ups, UEFA, I appreciate it. England, I agree with them in terms of Trent dropping to the bench. I think the backline will be unchanged, but yeah, they've gone for Shaw. Shaw's not going to start based on the information we've gotten in the last couple of days. I think it'll be Kieran Trippier at left back. So Pickford, Walker, Stones, Gay, Trippier, Bellingham and Rice potentially as a midfield pivot with Saka, Foden, Gordon and Harry Kane. But Gordon hasn't played a single minute at this Euros tournament. The same goes for Cole Palmer. As for France, we could see Magnan, Koundé, Saliba, Upamecano, Hernandez, Dembele, Kante, Tchouameni, Rabiot, Griezmann and Thuram. But I have to say, there is still a chance that Mbappe is in the lineup, despite being a suspension risk. One more yellow and Mbappe misses the next game. The same goes for Dembele. As for Georgia, pretty much unchanged. Sounds like I'm crying. What the fuck? Their goalkeeper was incredible, by the way, making 10 saves from 11 shots on target face. Mikhalce has been the best asset overall at just 5 million. Kvaratskhelia has been a huge disappointment in this tournament. As for Germany, we've seen the lineup already, and they actually update this. So if you refresh this page, they show you when the lineups are out, you know, what each team is fielding. As for Hungary, same thing, we've covered it. Italy are expected to go for Donnarumma, Darmian, Bastoni, Calafiori, Di Lorenzo, Cristante, Jorginho, Barella, Pellegrini, Chiesa, and Retegui potentially. There's a few doubts in there, I'd say, but overall I think most of it will be spot on. As for the Netherlands, Verbruggen, Dumfries, De Vrij, Van Dijk, Ake, Schouten, Simons, Reinders, Frimpong, Depay and Gakpo. I have seen some Dutch fans though kind of question Depay and saying he's playing really poorly in this tournament. As for Poland, they are the only team to be officially knocked out at this stage, I believe, and yeah, that's the lineup they'll likely go for, with Lewandowski getting his first Euro start. As for Portugal, Jose Sá, Nelson Semedo, Antonio Silva, Gonzalo Inacio, Dalot, João Palhinha, Neves, Nunes, Felix, Ramos and Diogo Jota. That could be the starting 11 there for one of the favourites of this competition. Then Romania, also very similar lineup to what we've seen in the first 2 match days. In fact, I think it'd be unchanged if this predicted lineup is spot on. As for Scotland, we've covered that lineup already. Serbia actually could make a big change, and I think that involves Samardzic. Hopefully I haven't completely butchered it, but I probably have. And I think they will kind of drift away from that two-striker formation, and it really hasn't paid off in terms of chance creation or goal scoring. Then we go to Slovakia. Once again, an identical lineup. I've seen someone ask me about Schranz already. He is potentially going to be a suspension risk, but that's not too relevant with unlimited transfers in Matchday 4. Slovenia also very unlikely to change things in their starting 11. And then with Spain, the complete opposite. We could see 11 changes with David Raya, Navas, Vivian, Laporte. But I think most reliable sources indicate there will be Lenormand instead of Laporte. Grimaldo, Merino, Zubimendi, Olmo, Torres, Hoslu, and Oyarzabal. Not too sure about some of these picks like Merino and Zubimendi, but maybe they are on the right track. I think Fermin Lopez is set to start, actually. That's what I've seen from several Spanish outlets. As for Switzerland, we've covered that lineup too. Turkey, yeah, not much should change. Maybe their goalkeeper. They've kind of switched things about a little bit between these 3 match days. But yeah, not too much should be a surprise there. As for Ukraine, yeah, same thing. Mikolenko could come into the lineup, which could be a massive boost. And that could also result in Zinchenko being moved into midfield. But this predicted lineup doesn't have Zinchenko, despite having a very good start to this Euro Fantasy campaign with a lot of ball recoveries and an assist already. So those are all the predicted lineups. Check out the UEFA website to see this. I'll probably put a link right now in the live chat so you can access it with ease. Smash the like button, subscribe for new, as I've said before. And thank you to all those that have sent in super chats, all the patrons and channel members who get early access to my videos as well. You're all massively appreciated. And yeah, right now, let's close some tabs. My laptop is overheating. It really is. So let's get this show on the road. And I'm going to put this in the live chat now. We've got over 800 people watching, by the way. Crazy numbers. Let's get this stream to over 200 likes. We're very close to that already. Just 20 away. So back to your questions again. I just feel it's worth going for all the lineups because I'm getting so many questions about, is this player going to start? No way Shaw starts. I agree. It'll be Kieran Trippier at left back. So I think that hasn't been updated yet. They'll probably do so after the deadline. If Shaw starts, I'm going to start singing Glory, Glory, Man United. You're not going to do that, though, because it's not going to happen. So I see what you did there. I got 74 points in Matchday 2, and I captained Fernandes. Nice. Yeah, I was a bit gutted that I didn't change the captaincy. Even Verbruggen outscored Harry Kane, for Christ's sake. But I'm just happy I didn't captain Lukaku. Let's not talk about that guy and his bad luck. ¿Qué tal, Dylan? ¿Qué opinas de Fermín López por España? Puede ser diferencial. Sí, creo que lo mismo. Me gusta mucho Fermín López, pero como un jugador en Euro Fantasy no sé si va a anotar muchos goles o asistencias. Yo prefiero a Dani Olmo o a Oyarzabal. Ellos son mis favoritos en el mediocampo. Y quizás mi favorito es Oyarzabal, que está en mi equipo en este momento. Pero me gusta mucho tu sugerencia y para mí es un jugador con mucho talento. Ferran Torres, yep, good option up front. I don't think the pool of strikers is as appealing as we once thought, but I think for Matchday 3, he looks fairly decent. Musiala or Gundogan captain? Musiala. Would you pick Højlund, Felix or Schick? As I mentioned before, Patrick Schick came off with an injury. He might be a big risk for Matchday 3. I'd go for Joao Felix out of those 3 there. Konstantinos says, I want to thank you because your advice has helped me win my mini-league for Champions League, even though I choose many different players. I'm glad to hear it. Thank you very much for the kind words, and hopefully you can do the same thing in Euro Fantasy. Football says, I use Limitless. Should I use Wildcard now? Yeah, if you've got a lot of rotation risks or injured players like DeMarco, I'd use the Wildcard now. Ericsson or Gundogan? Ericsson. McTominay captain, what do you think? You've always got other backup options in the next couple of days, so I'm not too against that. But I'm not going to lie to you, mate. I would prefer going for Musiala, Gundogan, Havertz, even Szoboszlai. But McTominay does step up for Scotland. He's got that late run into the box, that goal-scoring instinct. He used to be a striker, so I can definitely think of much worse. Ericsson, Szoboszlai or Oyarzabal? Pick one. Ericsson. Any Scottish or Hungary players? From Scotland, probably McTominay or Robertson. And from Hungary, I would say Szoboszlai or Varga. Double German midfield, a good option. Yeah, that's what I'm going for right now, but I might change it. And I think Gundogan is more likely to drop out. Look, Wirtz is still a good option. I just think Gundogan and Musiala are slightly better at the moment. But it's so early in the tournament that I could be wrong. And it's a very tricky one to really choose between those 3. But Gundogan is still, for me, the #1 penalty taker. We didn't see that in Matchday 1 because he got kicked and he was in pain when that penalty was taken by Kai Havertz. Yeah, I think Ericsson is good for the team. He's in my squad right now. I've got Mbappe at the moment. It's up to you. If you think he starts, I definitely keep him. If you think he's benched, sell him. Now, that's not simple, determining if he is, going to start or not. But there's not much more we can do. We're only going to be just guessing. We really are. So I think what the best thing to do with Mbappe is make a decision based on what you feel is going to happen with the starting 11. If you get it wrong, you get it wrong. You do have substitutions to rectify things a little bit. Szoboszlai or Eriksen? Eriksen for me. I would go for Musiala captain there, Timo Tech. Eriksen or Ilkay Gundogan? Eriksen. Gundogan or Havertz from Germany? I've gone for Gundogan, but they're both good. Would you play Kante? Not on a Limitless. I mean, he's a good option. I think he's kind of guaranteed to give you 4 points or more because of ball recoveries alone. But yeah, he's fine. Kane over Mbappe. Poland, the weakest team of the group, and England seems shaky recently. I've got both at the moment. Honestly, both options seem very mid to me. I have Lucas and Jota right now. I'm guessing that's Lukaku. Another forward to consider will be Ferran Torres against Albania. You've also got Gakpo, despite Austria looking quite strong. There are definitely alternatives, but in terms of pure standouts, I still think Mbappe's up there if he starts. Maybe Griezmann. But France haven't scored a single goal themselves, only for an own goal against Austria. Look, I wouldn't say he's nailed on, but a lot of reliable sources indicate that David Raya will start. So I think he will, and he's in my team right now. I really hope he does start. Pick one defender, price no issue. Tricky, I'm kind of struggling to kind of limit it down to 5, let alone single it down to 1. I probably say Saliba or Theo Hernandez, one of those two could be definitely the answer. I like Margay or Trippier from England, so I think one of those players is fine. Yeah, Germany remain unchanged. We covered the lineups, I think, 20 minutes ago. And I covered Switzerland, Hungary, and Scotland as well. No, I don't think Unai Simon will start. Spain have secured top spot. They will likely rotate heavily, and that includes David Raya coming in goal. We've seen a lot of rotation between those two goalkeepers in the friendlies leading up to this tournament. I think the same thing will happen here. Neto or Eriksen or Xavi Simons? Eriksen for me. Idle, I hope you're well. Kante or Szoboszlai, good luck. Thank you, Jojo. Likewise to you. I would go for Szoboszlai. Just a bit more exciting, more attacking potential. Very solid record for Hungary. He hasn't shown too much in this tournament yet, but that one moment of quality resulted in an assist in Matchday 1 against Switzerland. 6.5 million for a striker. I think Varga would definitely, appeal to me against Scotland. He's the first one that springs to mind. Anybody else? I haven't really thought about prices too much, to be fair, because I'm on the Limitless, and obviously it goes without saying. But another option for you could be... I have to think about that. I really would, to be fair. But I think with Mikkelce, for example, very solid start to the tournament, but he's facing Portugal next, and I think Portugal will still keep a clean sheet. Let's actually have a look. I'll give you an answer now in just a couple of seconds, whilst I find the 6.5 million forwards and see who really appeals to me. I think Schranz is decent, and the same goes for Dennis Mann. I don't think Yamal starts, otherwise he's at the top of my list. But yeah, my favourite is probably Varga in this matchup today. He really is. Yeah, the others don't really appeal to me. I did put Yildiz to score against Czech Republic, so he could be a shout. But yeah, just to not complicate things too much, my answer is going to be Mr. Varga. So we've literally got 43 minutes until the deadline. Make sure to lock in your teams as early as possible. We could see a site crash. It happened in Matchday 1. And I'm also speaking to myself because I love to leave things late because I'm so engrossed in your questions. Haribo, thank you very much for the super chat. Thoughts on the Romanian goalkeeper against Slovakia? Currently have him paired with Pickford. Don't think Costa will start. Have a great match day 3. Yeah, likewise to you. Hopefully you enjoy all the games. I like that pick. I've gone for 1-0 Romania in my predictions. So if that rings true, you could be looking at a very healthy return there. I also agree that Diogo Costa won't start, which is why I've gotten rid of him. My current goalkeeper pairing is Pickford and David Raya, which is slightly risky, but I do believe the Arsenal goalkeeper will start. And as for your suggestion or your pick, I think it's completely fine. It's a bit, I'd say, yeah, differential. It's also a bit unique, and it really could work out for you. Most people on the Limitless will be going for big hitters, but honestly, that could really be the difference maker. And sometimes it's these kind of random picks, so to speak, these cheaper options that end up delivering. And in terms of 4 million goalkeepers, you don't get much better than the Romanians. So I'm on board. I really am. Keep Wirtz or not? Depends what the context is. If you're using free transfers, yeah, I'd keep Florian Wirtz. But if you've got a Limitless or Wildcard, I'd be tempted to maybe go to a Musiala or Eriksen and all these options I've discussed today. Saka or Kane? Harry Kane for me, but they're both fine. I've got Jota right now. Yes, I do. Frimpong, Dumfries or Van Dijk, says Miguel Costa. My favourite, Dumfries is a shout as well, by the way, is probably Van Dijk because of ball recoveries. Then there's also Ake, who's got some ball recoveries in him, and also the assist threat. But Van Dijk is probably the best of the three you mentioned, yeah. I think Mbappe starts Cricket Universe. It's not a guarantee. You have to make a decision yourself, and based on that, if you think he starts or not, you either bring him in or you avoid. Yeah, Romanian goalkeeper I think is a good shout. You know, they had a great record in qualifying defensively, and in recent friendlies in the build-up to this tournament, they were keeping clean sheet after clean sheet. I think 4 out of 5 games, they had conceded 0 goals, including back-to-back 0-0s just before matchday 1. I don't think Carvalho starts. It will likely be Jesus Navas. If you rewind a little bit this stream, probably by 20 minutes or so, I'd say, you will see all the predicted lineups on the UEFA website, and if you want, I can put the link in the live chat again. I have Yamal. Who can I replace him with? If we're talking about budget strikers, then Varga is the one I suggested, but I'd rather go for Diogo Jota, Lukaku, Kane, Mbappe, maybe Griezmann. Those sorts of options really appeal to me, even Kai Havertz still. Why do I think Grimaldo will start? Because Spain have secured top spot. A lot of media outlets that are reliable in Spain indicate that they're going to put Grimaldo in the 11. David Raya will start instead of Unai Simon, and they can still get the job done in matchday 3. Cucurella or Grimaldo? Grimaldo will start matchday 3, in my opinion. It's up to you what you think there, but yeah. Yeah, don't worry, Godson, I appreciate you trying. It's a very tricky thing to do. I appreciate you moderating quite well, to be honest. You've done a good job. Neves, was it Navas over Grimaldo, perhaps for a differential? I'm not against that. Grimaldo is still owned by roughly 10% of the Euro Fantasy manager base, so I'm not really against that. I do think Grimaldo is a bigger attacking threat. And as for ball recoveries, I'd also probably give him the edge, but we don't know enough because Grimaldo hasn't really featured in UCL Fantasy over the years. I think maybe it was a couple of years ago with Benfica, isn't it? And I actually can't remember too much. I think he had some big holes in him. Yeah, I'd go for Grimaldo personally, but I'm not against your pick. Fast, Gay and DeMarco are starting. DeMarco's injured. Do not go for DeMarco. Gay and Fast should start, yeah. Thoughts on my boy Chiesa as a pick? Yeah, Chiesa had a great tournament in 2021. He also was man of the match in matchday 1 this time round, which I'm not sure about, but yeah, he's got a bit of quality about him. Not the most consistent in terms of goals and assists, but yeah, I think that's fine. Eriksen or Kante? Eriksen. Eriksen I'm really a big fan of. 17 Space says, Olmo, Oyarzabal, Gundogan. If you can pick 2, who would you pick? I'll give you the 2 that I've picked right now, which is Gundogan and Oyarzabal. Dani Olmo's a good shout though. I think they're all pretty decent. Musiala or Havertz as captain? Musiala, but it'll be quite typical now, right? If Havertz is the one that delivers. Thoughts on Dalot? I think he starts, but my favourite Portuguese defender for matchday 3 is Antonio Silva. Yeah, look, Mbappe, I think there's not much point now talking about Mbappe. I've covered like 10 questions at least, talking about if he's going to start or not. I personally think he will, but I'm not convinced. I really am not. I might sell him. So I think what we have to do is ultimately make a prediction if he starts or not, and based on that prediction, you either buy him or you don't. I don't think it's really worth delving into that too much. Yeah, out of those 2, I'd say Griezmann. I really would. Lukaku or Gakpo? Lukaku, but I do like Gakpo, I have to say. Yeah, I'm sorry, mate, but yeah, don't spam the chat, please. It's just not worth it. But I'm going to go into my team now, since, yeah, these are the predicted lineups still on screen, aren't they? So, wait, oh, okay, right. Let's forget about that. So, let's now go into the transfer section. So this is my current team. I'm not even going to say don't copy at this point, do what you want. But I think the most likely changes I'm going to make involve Gundogan, By the way, what? Oh, Jesus, I'm probably a bot, aren't I? Yeah, I'm getting confused between two different browsers. Apologies. So yeah, here we go. Gundogan out, potentially. He's someone who's on the chopping block. I'm also considering David Raya out and going for Casteels and balancing the defense a little bit more. It honestly wouldn't surprise me if Spain conceded because they're rotating so heavily. Koundé could come in for one of Saliba or Theo Hernandez, to be fair, or Kieran Trippier over Mark Gay, but the ball recoveries has been very impressive from Mark Gay. But we could see Trippier on set pieces with Trent Alexander-Arnold likely to be benched, which is what I think is going to happen. A lot of outlets have also had that in their predicted lineups. And yeah, to be fair, Trippier's quite decent for ball recoveries. 9 in 2 games is good. But look at Mark Gay, mate. Over 10, 17. It's unbelievable. He's been a fantastic Euro Fantasy asset. As soon as I saw that Harry Maguire misses the tournament, I just saw Mark Gay at 4.5 million as an absolute steal. So I'm happy I went for him from the beginning. But yeah, Gundogan could make way. I think I'll stick with Antonio Silva. I don't think I'm going to double up on Portugal defensively because they're rotating so much. Georgia will be going all-out attack. And yeah, I think the ball recovery potential is already pretty decent with the Portuguese centre-back, and that's good cover in itself. Yeah, 2 England defenders or defensive coverage with Gay and Pickford. Hernandez and Saliba together, Grimaldo. So yeah, in the live chat, I might put some polls out very soon in regards to my team and also some general questions which will help everyone watching. But in the live chat, let me know, Raya or Casteels? I'd be very interested to see your thoughts. There's also the Romanian goalkeeper, Donnarumma, but I'm not really feeling an Italian clean sheet at the moment. They've been a bit underwhelming in this tournament. I think they reacted quite well against Albania after going 1-0 down, but against Spain, they were never in the game. 1-0 did flatter them, and it kind of was more of an indictment on Spain's finishers than Italy being in the game. But yeah, the front three as well, Mbappe could make way, and I could just bring back Lukaku. And then there's also other options to consider. You know, I've discussed them to death, really. But yeah, I don't think Ronaldo starts. Griezmann is entering my thinking. Cody Gakpo. Kai Havertz. Yeah, there are alternatives, but I'm going to try not overcomplicate this position too much. Ferran Torres is decent. But yeah, I think outside that pool of players, I'm not really going to go into too many alternatives. Varga and Szoboszlai, you know, could come in as another option from Sunday's matches today. But yeah, let me know what you think in the live chat. I will be locking in my team fairly soon, I hope, because I don't want to leave things to chance or a last-minute switch. Black Shadow says, if I can get your question up, don't double up on Spain. I think that's a fair shout. I think I will go for 2 Spain players overall, but not defensively, which is what I'm guessing you're saying. I'd go for Casteels, but I've used 3 other Belgians. Yeah. I also like Wout Faes because of ball recoveries, but yeah, I do like Casteels, who got an assist in Matchday 3 as well. Jonathan says, goalkeeper, I think I'm going Casteels. Yeah, I'm on board with that. I think I might make that switch as well. A lot of you are saying Casteels, which is fair enough. Maybe the Arsenal bias is coming in. It rarely does, by the way, on this channel. Don't worry. I don't let that really influence my thinking too much. Without Rodri locking the midfield, I think Albania sneak 1. Just saying. Yeah, look, honestly, people keep saying this, you know, oh, Italy clean sheet locked in Matchday 1. 20 seconds, bye, it's gone. Matchday 2 as well against Croatia. Goal within 10 minutes. So yeah, I see what you're saying there. I might get rid of David Raya, to be honest, and just go for Grimaldo. Yeah, I'm using Limitless Chetan. I've made it very clear in all my videos, you know, even in Matchday 2, I said if I don't use it now, I'm going to use it Matchday 3. So yeah, you can't build this team, you know, without the Limitless. It's impossible. I have 4 defenders on the 25th. Should I switch one? If possible, you know, you can go for Grimaldo or maybe a German defender today, Andrew Robertson, dare I say, but I would recommend a little bit of balance if possible. Just wondering who your other defender is. Maybe Wout Faes, Castagna, or Antonio Silva on the 26th. Yeah, so I think the results are unanimous. Yeah, most of you are going for Castile, so I appreciate those that provided their feedback. Just watch your wildcard video. Yeah, so I have to say, look, I did record the wildcard and Limitless videos back, on Friday. And it was before the Friday games even happened, the second and third games on that day. and I literally had no other time to record those videos, and that's why some of the information will be out of date. But if you watch my team selection video and you saw all the alternatives I discussed, a lot of them are applicable to your wildcard. So yeah, I think once I lock in my Limitless team, I'll be very happy to suggest which downgrades I'd make in order for you to afford the team on the wildcard. And by the way, for those of you that aren't aware, price changes start to happen now. After the deadline, sorry, I can't speak English anymore. After the matchday free deadline passes in 32 minutes time, price changes will start to happen based on player performances and Euro fantasy points in the last couple of match days. So keep an eye out for that. Maybe I'll discuss some of them once we are live and the German and Scotland games begin. Vitinha and Cancelo and -4, or Koundé and Gundogan and -8. Koundé and Gundogan, -8. Mbappe or not? I'm going for Mbappe right now, but I'm 50-50 on it. I really am. Why Silva instead of Van Dijk? I think Portugal have a better chance of a clean sheet. I think Georgia's an easier game than Austria. And also, I think Portugal are solid defensively compared to the Netherlands, who did keep a clean sheet against France. But yeah, with Antonio Silva, I also think he's a mega differential. Great ball recovery potential, just like Virgil van Dijk. But I just really like Antonio Silva. He's not really going to be talked about enough. Even after this deadline stream is over, I doubt his ownership will be that high. So yeah, I think he'll be a nice, unique player. It's not absolutely locked in and guaranteed, but if you actually look at a previous example with the same manager, Roberto Martinez with Belgium, I think it was in 2018 World Cup where they faced England in matchday 3. They won the first 2 games, they secured qualification, they hadn't even secured top spot yet, and Roberto Martinez changed absolutely everybody, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe 1 or 2 stayed, but yeah, I think they're going to change massively. And I saw a quote, or someone posted a link to a quote by Roberto Martinez, which was, I think, in Portuguese or in Spanish. I know if it was in Spanish, I would have understood it. But basically, someone posted like a quote that said that Roberto Martinez is willing to rotate in matchday 3. So I'm going to have a double check and see the video myself. I think that's probably the best thing to do. But yeah, I think they're going to rotate the vast majority, if not all. Why do you think Ronaldo will not start? Well, because Portugal have secured top spot, they can rest him, and they can give the likes of Diogo Jota confidence and a chance to score goals themselves and to compete with Ronaldo for a starting spot in the round of 16. So yeah, thank you, Bua, and everyone else who suggested Castiles. I think I'll probably go for it, to be honest. Szoboszlai as a captain, Dylan. I'm not against it, but I do prefer Musiala. Yeah, I think Dalot could be decent, but he's not locked in to start. I think Antonio Silva and Gonzalo Inacio are a bit more reliable in terms of starting in matchday 3. Trent or Bruno, who's more important to take out? Tricky because they could both be rotated. I'd say Bruno Fernandes. Now, if Fernandes did get a surprise start, of course, that's going to be a massive shock, and also it could be a decision you regret big time. Roberto Martinez made it sound like Ronaldo will play all the games. Maybe, and it's likely going to be his last Euros tournament, right? You'd think. You could be right about that. And Ronaldo is someone I'd love to have in my Limitless team, but I'm just not so sure. I actually think in dropping Castiles, getting Fass in, but then need to think about Raya or Verbruggen. Yeah, I understand that. I think Wout Fass is the best way to cover Belgium defensively in general, but I also want Grimaldo and that attacking potential from my defender. And I think going for Castiles is decent, you know. Yeah, so I understand what you're saying, but I think I'm going to go for Castiles personally. Should I go Antonio Silva? It's up to you. I'm going for him because I think Portugal keep a clean sheet and he's got ball recoveries in his arsenal, and I think he can do a good job here. Any other midfielder that isn't one of those 5? Well, yeah, of course there are. Even Kante is a cheaper option. Szoboszlai, I think, is a pretty decent standout from today. Florian Wirtz is still very, very enticing. Saka, Bellingham, Foden. There's a lot of options, actually. Xavi Simons. I think that's pretty much the main 10, 11 players I'd suggest in the midfield. There might be 1 or 2 I'm kind of forgetting about, but yeah, I think those are the key options. Szoboszlai or Neto? Szoboszlai. I'd go for Szoboszlai out of those 2. I'd be very careful with the Portuguese fullbacks. There are rumours that we'll play a back 3 with Pedro Neto as a wing-back. Yeah, I appreciate that. I actually wasn't aware. But yeah, I don't want to go for Portuguese fullbacks. I'd rather go for a centre-back like Gonzalo Inacio or Antonio Silva. Yeah, Grimaldo should start with Spain. securing top spot. Yeah, I think Guller will start now. Yeah. No Yamal and Williams, they will both be rested, I think. You could see Ferran Torres and Oyarzabal as the two wingers. I'm feeling the guts to go Raya plus Grimaldo. I don't want to lose either of KDB, Lukaku, and Fas. Completely fair. You got to back your gut at all times, even if it doesn't pay off. Gordon Cam start. It wouldn't be at Cam. It'd be as a left winger. And if that happens, you've got Foden being a central attacking midfielder, Bellingham dropping deeper, and Saka on the right-hand side, which could result in a better balance there for England. I think so, Ignacio. It's not 100% locked in, but I think I will. Do you think Bruno will still play? No. Otherwise, I'd have him. Which defenders are most important for ball recoveries? Mark Gay, the Slovenian right back. I think it's Karnasic, if I'm not mistaken. I think I got that wrong. I like Jules Koundé. Van Dijk is pretty good for ball recoveries overall. Yeah, there's plenty of options, to be fair. There's a lot that I'm probably not even remembering. Wout Faes. But yeah, Antonio Silva for me. I know he hasn't played much, but I think he could be right up there for ball recoveries. I really do. He showed it in UCL Fantasy for Benfica 2 seasons ago. I would go for Szoboszlai there, Ralvi. I really would. Best French assets, Mbappe if he starts, Saliba, Theo Hernandez, and Koundé. They're my favourites. Why not Gundogan? I haven't got rid of him yet, mate. It's just he's a possible transfer out. It's just to diversify the midfield a little bit. I'd go for Gundogan there over Kante. What do you think? Raya and Bellingham or Pickford and Szoboszlai? That is a tough question. I would probably go for Pickford and Szoboszlai. Just a gut feeling. According to rumours, Saka won't play. Fair enough. That's surprising to me. Dylan, does this team need Limitless? So let's break it down. I think Costa will be benched. Lunin was dropped for Trubin in Matchday 2. Most of your defenders are fine, except for DeMarco, who is injured. In the midfield, as someone just said, Saka's rotation risk. I'll double check that. But one of Fernandes or Ronaldo are certainly rotation risks. So it's a good squad. You've got some great players in there. But I think I'd use a Limitless. I really would. What was your Portugal defense prediction? Depends on the formation, right? So I think someone just now said that they will likely go for a back three. If that's the case, I think it will be Gonzalo Inacio, Antonio Silva, and the third centre-back is a bit difficult to predict. Surely not Pepe as well, right? No, surely not. That guy is just an absolute monster at 41 years of age. If it was just a back four, I'd be more confident predicting it. I'd say Dallo on the left, Semedo on the right, and then Gonzalo Inacio with Antonio Silva. But if they go for a back three, I'm not so sure about the next one. What about Mbappe, says Akram. Yeah, we covered Mbappe extensively, mate. You've got to make a decision about whether you think he's going to start or not. No one knows for sure. Well, it's just my opinion, right, in terms of top clean sheet chances. But I'd say England, France, Spain, Portugal, and Belgium, probably in that order, roughly. I'd actually say England are top for me, if not second. Captain Gundogan or Szoboszlai? I think I'd go for Szoboszlai here, actually. Szoboszlai? No, I'd go for Gundogan. I'd go for Gundogan just about. Why Saliba over Koundé? Difficult one to say. I think in terms of ball recoveries, they're quite similar. Maybe Koundé shades it there. Attacking potential, I think Koundé might be slightly more likely, but I just think with Saliba, he's more likely to win player of the match, and it's probably the Arsenal factor in there as well, right? He's really stamped his authority in that French team, despite Deschamps previously criticising him. And for me, he's one of the best centre-backs in the world. He's right up there with the best. And yeah, I'm just going for him for that reason, really. But I have always said it's kind of difficult predicting or choosing two of those three between Theo Hernandez, Koundé, and Saliba. Dumfries or Frimpong? I'd probably take a chance on Frimpong. Likely to play as a right winger. Third captain tonight, I'm going for Musiala. Bellingham or Kane? I'd go for Kane. Jesus Navas and Press. Great shout. Thank you for spotting that, but it's not necessarily a guarantee. I think I saw a few examples in this tournament of a player in the press conference and they don't start. So I'm not so sure about that, but I think he will. Yeah, I've said that for the whole stream. Is Spain already first of the group? Yep. Spain and Portugal have secured top spot, which is key. Germany haven't, which is why they've gone strong, no changes. And I've always said Germany will still likely, make very few changes, if any, and they still got to beat Switzerland or avoid a defeat to be top of their group. Bring in Fast for a -4 or stick with Cancelo. I like Wout Fast, but I think I just stick with what you have. I really would. I don't think Trent starts Petros. As for Kyle Walker, in terms of ball recoveries, I think Gay and Trippier are better. Sane is on the bench. Why Jota over Griezmann? Griezmann has played as a midfielder. When Mbappe is in the team, of course. Griezmann can play as a left centre midfielder. As a striker, of course, he can cause damage. And look, he has crossed my mind. He really has. If I end up making a change, it will probably be Mbappe out for a Lukaku or Griezmann. I think that's what I'm looking to do. Chetan, I mean, I did answer your question earlier. I said I played the Limitless. I made it clear in all my videos. You can't afford this team with the wildcard, so it's quite self-explanatory. So yeah. So, literally 21 minutes left. Let's lock in our teams. Make sure to do so. Yeah, Koundé can be rotated, but I think he'll start. Musiala or Bellingham, Musiala. Bellingham or Kante, Bellingham. Gakpo or Havertz, Gakpo. I think Jota starts. Luis says for a -4, Trent or Cancelo out for Ake. I'd probably get rid of Cancelo because there is still a chance that Trent starts. Although I don't think it will happen. I currently have Raya and Verbruggen. I have no extra budget and Belgium triple up, which doesn't want to leave, which I don't want to leave. Best options, or is it good? Oh, I think that's fine. It really is. Verbruggen has been excellent in Euro Fantasy so far. I think David Raya starts. So whilst it's not my favourite goalkeeper pairing overall, it's still very solid, actually. And if that's a wild card or normal transfers, I think that looks great. It really does. I'm still getting questions about Limitless. It is a Limitless team. It is. I probably should have like a tattoo here that says Limitless or something. Musiala and Wirtz together. Not against that. I've gone for Gundogan at the moment and Musiala. Why not Bellegot in the team? Because he's not really Bellegot for England overall. He's got like 4 goals for the national team. Obviously top talent, but look, I might still go for him, I'm not going to lie, but I would rather double up on England defensively. They're just a very defensive team under Southgate. Opinions on Nelson Semedo? Worth a punt, but I'd rather go for Antonio Silva for ball recoveries and certainty of start. Van Dijk or Gay? I've gone for Gay. So that answers it. Do you think Mbappe starts? Yes, but you have to make your own opinion. Best Spain defender? I'd say Grimaldo for this match day. I'm not against Jesus Navas or Vivian or maybe Lenormando. Is going without Kane too risky considering the ownership? Going without Mbappe is a risk as well, right? But I think it can still work for you. If you go for Bellingham or Saka or Foden to cover that England attack, and you can go for a heavy hitter up front, then that's fine. Do I go Neuer, Maignan, or Castells, Maignan? My preference is Castells over Neuer. I want Yamal out, but already have Kane and Lukaku. Who else is possible? Diogo Jota, maybe? As a cheaper alternative, I'd say Varga from today's matches. Keep one on Mudryk, Lunin, or Dalot. Dalot. I'd sell the other two. No, I think it'll be Grimaldo, which is why I've gone for him. I would go for Theo Hernandez there, Luca, over Grimaldo. Luis Arias says Pickford or Gay. I'd probably say Gay, to be honest. I might get rid of Gay myself for Trippier for attacking potential, but ball recoveries, there aren't many better than Mark Gay. Kane or Jota? Still Kane for me. Best German defender. Mittelstadt overall in terms of value and everything factored in. On a Limitless, I think I'd still go for him, but Rudiger would also be a shout. He did get booked in Matchday 2 though, and in Matchday 1 he scored an own goal, so he's had a hectic tournament so far. Szoboszlai or Eriksen? Eriksen. No, I don't think Fabian Ruiz will start. Spain have secured top spot. They will likely rotate most players, if not all. Kante or Gundogan or Eriksen or Szoboszlai, I need 2 of them. Eriksen and Gundogan for me. Castells and Van Dijk or Maignan and Castagna? Probably Castells and Van Dijk. The thing is, it depends on what your other defenders are, right? I prefer a French clean sheet, should I say, over a Dutch one. So from that perspective, I'd probably say Maignan and Castagna, to be honest. Felix is a good differential. Yeah, I think it's fine. You know, whilst most people go for Jota, it might be Joao Felix delivering the goods. Yeah, Raya is expected to start, but I'm still a bit unsure about him because I think Spain could concede here. If it was a full-strength Spanish side, or just Raya being the only change, then I'd probably go for 2 Spanish defenders, or Raya and, let's say, Grimaldo, whoever it may be. But because they're rotating so much, it seems like I'm not as sure of a clean sheet, which is why I might change it. Best goalkeepers, probably the 2 you see on screen. You've also got Casteels, Magnan, I think would be right up there. The problem is you can't go for Pickford and Magnan because they play on the same day. ¿Por qué no Mittelstadt? Porque para mí Suiza es un buen equipo. En los últimos encuentros hay varios empates, 3-3, 1-1, varias veces. Así que, mira, Mittelstadt es una buena opción, pero en el Limitless me gustaría cambiar algunas cosas y ir por algo distinto, digamos. Wirtz or Bellingham? Bellingham. Currently debating Gundogan, Jude, or Szoboszlai. Need 2 of them and have Musiala. Also Mbappe or Jota. I've got similar conundrums myself, mate. I completely understand what you're saying. In terms of your midfield one, I can help you a little bit more, and I would probably go for Gundogan and Bellingham. But one reason why I might actually sell Gundogan for a Szoboszlai is to kind of diversify my attack a little bit and have kind of like chips in every single game, basically. And, you know, I think if you do go for 2 or 3 attackers from the same team, yes, of course, the attacking potential, the high ceiling is endless, right? But there is a lot of kind of reliance on those teams to perform well, and some of these countries aren't that reliable. Now, Germany are definitely looking very strong though, but it's worth mentioning. Yeah, just have to say, if you spam a chat like that, like 3-4 times in a row, you're not going to get answered, mate. I'm sorry. Just don't do that. It does get a bit jarring for other people as well. So yeah, right now, thank you to those that are watching. We've got over 1,100 watching, which is crazy numbers. Let's get the stream to over 300 likes. We can definitely do that. A massive shout out to those that send in super chats. And after the deadline passes, I will be giving a shout out to members on YouTube and also patrons, and also going through more questions afterwards. Thank you to Keith for moderating the chat. It's always good to see you. If you've got a question or anything, be sure to let me know as well. Scamacca or Jota? Jota for me. Scamacca has a tougher fixture. He's got 1 goal in 18 games for Italy. Yeah, not for me. Eriksen or Bellingham? Eriksen. Why Jota? I think he's going to start. Portugal have secured top spot. Eriksen or Bellingham? Eriksen. Will Morata play? I don't think so. Is Torres a good differential? Yes. Oyarzabal or Eriksen? Eriksen. Yeah, I think Pedro Neto will start, but it's not an absolute guarantee. Best England mid? Probably Bellingham. Hello, Gundogan or Szoboszlai on wildcard? Gundogan, I think. Why no Mbappe? Well, as you can see right here, Lukaku is highlighted. I do have Mbappe at the moment, but it's honestly a 50-50 call in terms of whether he'll start or not. The UEFA website doesn't have Mbappe to start, but there is still that possibility he does. It is against Poland. France can still win without him, and it might be actually very beneficial for them to build this kind of non-dependency on their star player, but it's just difficult to predict, I think. Mbappe did play in a kind of friendly, in this kind of behind closed doors game against under-21 Paderborn, so that's worth mentioning too. But yeah, at the moment, I've got Mbappe. I might switch him to Lukaku or another striker entirely, like a Cody Gakpo. So, yeah, another reason why I included Gundogan, by the way, is because I think he actually scored against Switzerland 2 or 3 games ago in one of their meetings. And I think that was a 1-1 draw. And Gundogan has been very impressive in this tournament. I think he's still the #1 penalty taker for Germany, with Kai Havertz being a close second. So yeah, this is my current setup. I just wish we had a confirmation of Mbappe. It'd be very helpful, but at least we don't have these FPL leaks, right? Which can be a pain for most people. But yeah. Actually, one thing I wanted to highlight, and there's actually some XG stats. So let me just get this up. All right, so credit to All About FPL for this tweet. So let's actually highlight the teams with the most expected goals conceded so far in the Euros, and I'll highlight their matchday free opponents as well. So the worst team defensively, according to XG conceded, is Georgia, with 6.1 across both games, and they face Portugal. Albania is second with 4.2 XGC, and they face Spain. So those two countries, of course, have finished top, Portugal and Spain. So they will rotate. and that's why fringe players like Jota or Oyarzabal remain very appealing. In third place is Austria with 3.8 XGC against the Netherlands. Then you've got Hungary with 3.7, and they face Scotland tonight. Then you've got Poland with 3.6 XGC against France. Croatia also right up there with 3.5. They face the holders Italy. And then Scotland with 3.3 against Hungary. So we could see a lot of goals in that game tonight between Hungary and Scotland based on XG figures. But of course, football is played on grass, not on a calculator. So I'm going to start locking in my team now because it's about bloody time, isn't it? It really is. So Pickford, Raya, I think I might go for Casteels and balance things out a little bit more. And I'm hoping that by the time we get to the 26th of June, I've already got that clean sheet locked in for England and I don't need to make a substitution between the sticks. But two defensive double-ups with England and France. I've got a differential on Antonio Silva, Grimaldo and Theo Hernandez for attacking potential. I've got Saliba. Might go for Koundé as well, to be fair, but not an easy decision, I think, between those two. So if I have a look at the ball recoveries, Koundé with 11, Saliba with what, 10, 9? Yeah, 9. Not much difference there, but I might just go for him. Have one Arsenal player in here for once. Apart from that, yeah, I have no others. Mark Gay as my England defender. I might go for Kieran Trippier, to be fair, who could be on set pieces with Trent Alexander-Arnold out. I think that could be a nice play. Trippier's ownership is also quite low at 6%. So is Mark Gay, to be fair, who is a ball recovery machine. He's made 17 already in this tournament, I think. Kieran Trippier has a decent amount, but yeah, with him, it's mainly the attacking potential that really stands out. So yeah, those are really the big decisions to make here. And I'd say maybe Gundogan out. That's still a possibility. Mbappe. I might just stick with this team, though, and see what happens. But yeah, there's some 50-50 calls, which could result in some pain. But I'm hoping for some serious gain in the ranks. I really am. Matchday 2 is good. 89 points after a very disappointing start. Musiala will likely be my captain no matter what happens now in the next 10 minutes after I lock in my team. But I'd say the players that are quite locked in for me will be Pickford, one France defender, so either Hernandez, Saliba or Koundé, an England defender like Gay or Trippier. I'd say Antonio Silva as well, quite nailed on. Musiala, Eriksen, De Bruyne, Kane. Yeah, I think those are quite locked in. The rest is definitely up for grabs there. So let's see what else you lot are saying. We're 10 likes away from 300. Be sure to get that. Havertz, Eriksen or Lukaku, Wirtz. Very close, but I'm probably going to go for Havertz and Eriksen. No, Lukaku's actually crazy to me, but fair enough. Well, yeah, but he's delivered 7 points in 2 games, and that's mainly because of, obviously, disallowed goals. And Ukraine, obviously, are conceding quite a lot of chances. You can't have everyone. It's as simple as that. I like the Jota punt. I'm not brave enough for it. Maybe I'm not as well. I might make a late switch, don't worry. Why Casteels? To diversify the defence a little bit, I think Spain can concede because they'll likely rotate quite heavily. So I might go for Casteels over Raya. And as for Germany, I think Switzerland can score, to be quite honest with you. That's another consideration I've made. I like Magnan, but I've already got 2 French defenders. I'd sell Cancelo, Haru. I think Grimaldo will start, yes. It's up to you what you want to do with the likes of Grimaldo and these rotation risks. Eriksen or Gundogan? Eriksen. Kai or Gakpo? I'd go for Gakpo this week. Szoboszlai looks good to me, but not my favourite. Oyarzabal or Szoboszlai? I've gone for Oyarzabal, so that's my answer. Why Musiala captain over... Sorry, my thing's bugging out. Over Gundogan? I just think Musiala is the best Germany asset overall. And despite Gundogan being the main penalty taker, I do think Musiala is the game changer and more likely to win player of the match. Haribo says, do you prefer Mittelstadt or Tar as a Germany defender? I'd say Mittelstadt. Whilst Tar is better for ball recoveries, I think Mittelstadt offers you the attacking, threat, especially as an assister. So I'd go for Mittelstadt. He also saves you 0.5 million, which might not be relevant, of course, on a Limitless, but it certainly is on a wildcard or with free transfers. So my answer is Mittelstadt, but I can see why some people on a Limitless chip would go for Tar or Rudiger. Jota or Gakpo? Jota will be my preference, but he's not locked in. I don't think Bruno starts. Gundogan plus Raya or Neuer and Oyarzabal or Simmons. I would go for Gundogan and Raya, but very close to be fair. Very, very close. Szoboszlai or Musiala captain? Musiala. Lukaku or Jota? I'm going for Jota at the moment, but I'm not going to lie, I might just go for Lukaku again. His ceiling is massive, it really is, and he's been so unlucky in this tournament. Mbappe and Pickford or Kane and triple French defence? I'd go for Kane and triple French defence. Lukaku or Mbappe? Lukaku's safer, let's put it that way. Now, if I knew Mbappe is going to start, then yeah, I'd obviously say Mbappe, he's in my team right now. But Lukaku is safer, I think that might be the best play. No, I don't think Musiala's a big risk, to be honest. I don't really see that. If Germany go 2-3-0 up at half-time, yeah, you could see some changes there. But that's very unlikely in my opinion. I think Switzerland are quite solid. Gundogan or Szoboszlai? I've gone for Gundogan. Donnarumma or Raya? Raya for me. Grimaldo or Silva? Antonio Silva for me, yeah. I'd go for Szoboszlai there. Aswin? Yeah, maybe, but I think what I'm going to do is have a look at the Bird app, or in this case it's now called Twitter, and see if there's anything. By the way, thank you to Matt Steen for becoming a patron. I'll shout you out very soon as well, and all the channel members and patrons. But yeah, I'm just having a quick look at Twitter and see if I can get any news at the moment, but not so sure if I can. It's a bit jarring. So yeah, if you do see anything about Mbappe or any big asset, be sure to let me know. It'd be massively appreciated. But yes. No, I don't see anything whatsoever, which is a bit of a shame. Yeah, that's not great, is it? Yeah, well, it is what it is. It is what it is. How confident on Silva? Fairly confident. I'd say 70-80%. Why no Holland defender? I think Austria could score. I really do. They've looked very strong in the first two games of the tournament. They had a great record going into the Euros. So yeah, and the Netherlands aren't the greatest defensively despite their clean sheet. Don't know why you're spamming the chat. Very confident on the French defense. Fairly. You know, Poland are knocked out, so they have nothing to play for. They've got nothing to lose. And I just think they've been very solid as a unit. France have kept 4 consecutive clean sheets in international friendlies and the Euros. I think Saliba makes a massive difference to them. So yeah, I just think they're one of the most organised defences in this tournament. Havertz or Griezmann? I'd go for Griezmann there. And I guess France players will do a great performance against Poland. What do you think? Yeah, I'd go for Griezmann, but I don't think he is the same level of attacking threat as he once was, particularly in 2016 when he scored so many goals at the Euros there. But yeah, I think he can get a goal in matchday 3. I think Ferran Torres will play there, Zimio. Oyarzabal or Gundogan or Musiala? Musiala for me is my favourite. He really is. Van Dijk over Cancelo? Yeah, because Van Dijk will start, Cancelo will likely not. Triple French defence or remove one defender for Frimpong? I think both of them are good options, but I'd probably double up and go for Frimpong. No, I don't think Unai Simon will start. No, I don't. Okay, so I'm going to lock in my team now. So I think I'm going to go for Pickford and Casteels as my 2 goalkeepers. Antonio Silva, Mark Gay. Mark Gay? Yeah, I think so. Mark Gay. Theo Hernandez, Saliba. Yeah. It's between him and Koundé, I think. Saliba or Koundé? I think I'm going to go for Saliba. Grimaldo as my other defender as well. I'm going for De Bruyne, Eriksen, Musiala, Gundogan and Oyarzabal. And then up front, I think I'm going to go for Lukaku over Jota. Yeah. But I do have Antonio Silva. Yeah, I just think with Belgium having more to play for, Lukaku getting the bulk of the chances, I also think Jota could still be subbed off around 60-70 minutes. Yeah, I mean, look, Jota's still a great asset, I think, for matchday 3. I might regret this, I really might, and it seems like I love Lukaku pain, but I think I'm going to make that late change now. But let's wait and see, I'm not going to guarantee anything. I'm actually going to have a quick look at Diogo Jota's record again for Portugal. Although I did make a lot of graphics and stuff. I don't think I made one for Diogo Jota. So let's see what his record is for Portugal. I don't think it's that great, actually. Although, yeah, 14 goals in 40 games is fairly decent. Yeah. How many assists does he have as well? Although he's not the most prolific assister. 11 assists. Pretty good stuff, actually. Yeah, look, a lot of his games for Portugal. He's got a few 90 minutes since November, you know, against Luxembourg and Liechtenstein. But then you've got 4 minutes against Slovakia, 24 against Bosnia, then basically 1/2 against Finland, Croatia, and Ireland, 27 minutes against Czech Republic. Didn't play at all against Turkey, but I think he's going to start here. Yeah, you know what? I think I'm going to go for Lukaku. It's a bit boring, but I've been advocating for this guy all tournament long. Imagine I go without him and this guy starts scoring now. Yeah, I think I'm going for Lukaku. Lukaku, Kane, Mbappe. Yeah, I think overall I'm quite happy with this team. Gundogan's the other change I might make now. Literally got 1 minute left. Lock in your teams now because you don't want to leave this to chance and for very late changes. Musiala, Gundogan. Yeah, this is difficult as well. This last midfielder spot. I'm considering Szoboszlai, to be quite honest with you. Bellingham, but that would obviously require changes in other positions like Kane and Mark Gay. Yeah, I think I'm going to go... This is difficult. It really is. I think I'm going to go for Gundogan still. All right, let's just get this show on the road. So just one change. 2 changes. Jota and Raya for Casteels and Lukaku. Let's make sure this is locked in. Oh, dear. Well, the transfers have been made, yeah. It's just taking a bit of a while to load. So now, this is my final team, I think. We literally got 20 seconds left. Let me just make sure. Yeah, so Oyarzabal and Grimaldo need to come in. My God. It's not a big deal, but yeah, we'll do that. Lukaku and Grimaldo in for De Bruyne. Yeah, Musiala captain and confirm. And there we go. Literally just seconds before. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, obviously, Antonio Silva instead of Saliba isn't great, but it is what it is, right? Yeah, I think we're locked in already, so I can't make any more changes. But yeah, the round is now locked. But it's fine. It's not a big deal. The most important thing is I put Musiala captain. I do have Gundogan playing now as well. Hopefully one return from those German midfielders. That would be very nice. But Switzerland, I anticipate to be a very tough game. I think a 1-1 draw is possible. But I have gone for a 2-1 Germany. So yeah, Musiala captain. Gundogan is also playing. Yeah, I think my only regret is just the bench order. So I've got Saliba on the bench and I've got Antonio Silva in the starting 11. But yeah, ultimately, you can make that change. In terms of transfers or the amount of subs you can make during a match day, the limit is obviously 4, your goalkeeper and 3 outfield players. But the limit is 4 in terms of locked players. So you're taking out 4 locked players for 4 unlocked players. But you can actually I can bring on Saliba for Antonio Silva after these games are done and then do the reverse if Saliba blanks. So I'm not too, really bothered by that. So yeah, that should be pretty good. Yeah, I'm fairly happy with that team. Let's see if Mbappe starts. If he doesn't, I've got 14 other players to deliver, hopefully, if they indeed start as well. Thank you to those that tune in today. It has gone very quickly and we have covered a lot of topics. There's still 500 people watching. So if you want to tune in a little bit more, I'm very happy to do so. I'm going to be putting on the game and reacting to it as I answer your questions as I continue to do so. Okay, let me just get the games up now. But yes, like the video, even if you're on your way out, it'd be massively appreciated. Subscribe to the channel and check out the links in the description below for my Patreon and the championships. Also the Discord server, which talks about FPL, UCL Fantasy, the World Cup, and of course the Euros right now. And also my Spotify. Leave a 5-star review on my podcast. It goes a long way to supporting the channel. Mbappe will start. I hope so, mate. I really do, because I went for the bloody bastard. So yeah, Scotland-Hungary is on BBC 1 and Germany on BBC 2. I'm sorry, but I'm going to be watching Germany for a little bit. I've got more, let's say, Euro Fantasy commitments here. Rip, have Saliba as captain was too late. For a second, you made me think I did. No, I've got him on the bench. Yeah, no. It's not that deep, you can change it tomorrow, just, I know it's difficult, Kai Havertz. Nice header. That wasn't that good. Yeah, look, you've still got a captaincy option tomorrow. You can go for Harry Kane. Then you've got, you've got the Spanish and Italian players tomorrow, potentially. Then you've got Harry Kane on the 25th. And then on the 26th, you've got Belgian players like De Bruyne and Lukaku. So it's not too bad. site has crashed. It didn't go down for me, but yeah, look, hopefully they went through. Argentinian ref for Scotland match. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, Argentina, Scotland have a nice connection, which my family obviously know all about. Yeah, so let's wait and see. He's actually a good ref, I think. Whenever I've watched him, he's been quite good, and I'm not being biased there. I go without Mbappe, fingers crossed, says Alif. Yeah, look, I'm hoping that he starts. I really do. I think he could go off on the 25th. The 25th? Yeah, the 25th of June. Good luck, Sidindra. Time to enjoy the games. Definitely, definitely. Wisef says, thoughts on this wildcard team? Looks very solid. I like it a lot. Yeah, I think that can compete with most Limitless teams, should I say. So I think that's fairly well poised. Based on Eurosport's Kylian Mbappe really eager to play against Poland, says Chuameni. Rounds on France critics at Euro 2024. Thank you for that. I'm hoping he starts. That'd be massive. I think he could really get 1 or 2. Kept Bruno, hope he hauls. Yeah, good luck to you as well. FPO Bruce Wayne went for Fermin Lopez as a differential. I was asked about him in Spanish earlier. So for me, he's a great talent. Maybe not the best in terms of goals or assists just yet. But honestly, I think he could really pay off. Yeah, Cathal, I'm sorry, but repeating the same question time after time again isn't really going to do anything. So I don't know what you're trying to do, yeah. But yeah, let's see what else we've got here. So, one shot in dark, says FPO Bruce Wayne. Fair enough, fair enough. I'm actually going to refresh this page and see if these changes actually went through, because sometimes they don't. If not, I'm not that bothered. I was quite happy with my team anyway. So let's see how this is looking. So that was my team before. Obviously it's outscoring my current team because I had more players in the Sunday games. This page is still reloading, by the way, so I think you lot were correct. The page has seemed to crash. Yeah, my changes did go through. Like I just mentioned, in terms of substitutions and the bench order and stuff, I'm not really too bothered by it, because the main thing what you want to do is make sure that those playing today are in the starting 11, and that's what I've done right now. Yeah, so what I can do is, after the games today are done, I can bring on Saliba for Antonio Silva, and that won't count as one of my 4 changes in terms of substitutions, because they both haven't played yet. They're both unlocked, should we say. And then if Saliba blanks on the 25th, I can then sub him out for Antonio Silva on the 26th. So I'll rectify that afterwards. But overall, things are looking fairly solid. Only 2 players playing today, though. Maybe I could have gone for 1 or 2 more, like Szoboszlai, but overall, I'm very happy with my setup, and I'm very confident in Matchday 3, which probably means it'll be a disaster, because in Matchday 2, I wasn't confident, and it was a great success. For Remy, puts his Limitless team. Looks good. Yeah, my team's identical, I think. So I've got Antonio Silva instead of Dalot. I've got Saliba, not Koundé. You've gone for Ryan in the end, fair enough. I went for Casteels as a late change. You've gone for Jesus Navas, nice differential. And Szoboszlai captain. I wish you the best. Hopefully it pays off for you. If not today, when is the best time to play Wildcard and Limitless? It's team dependent, but I think at this point now, you'd probably say Limitless Matchday 5, Wildcard Matchday 6. You don't want to play the Wildcard before the Limitless, in my opinion, because yeah, I just think in terms of the order, you know, Wildcard is obviously permanent changes to your squad. The Limitless is only 1 match day. You've still got slightly weaker teams in the quarterfinals, whilst in the semis and beyond, generally speaking, you get lower scoring games and, you know, more tactical matches. So good luck to you, Dylan. Great content as always. Thank you, Alif. I appreciate the kind words, and good luck for Matchday 3. I'll see you very soon. Hi, I couldn't get my transfer in before the deadline. Yeah, I always say this, try not to make changes late. I do it because I'm so engrossed in the questions and comments that I kind of forget about thinking about my own team for a while. So my preference is always to kind of set my team up before the deadline stream even starts. Frimpong playing? I think he will. In the UEFA website, he's in the starting 11 as a right winger. I also think he will start, but it's not locked in. So both games 0-0 right now. I'll probably switch between the 2 of them, both of them on BBC 1 and BBC 2 in the UK. Oh dear, I just saw a cross come in and I switched channels. What am I doing? Yeah, nothing happened. At least Captain Sears with Musiala. Yeah, you got to look at the positives, right? Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me now if Kai Havertz is the one to deliver when I captain him in Matchday 2, for example, but let's wait and see. Great Limitless team, Dylan. What are your captaincy plans? So yeah, quite similar to what I talked about in my Limitless team video and the team selection. So obviously today I'm captaining Musiala. Tomorrow I'm going to captain Harry Kane. On the 25th, sorry, I keep getting them mixed up. On the 24th, I will probably captain Grimaldo. On the 25th, I'll captain Harry Kane. And on the 26th, well, that's the thing actually. If Mbappe starts, because we get the lineups early for that substitution deadline, I'll captain Mbappe, I think. So yeah, Mbappe or Kane, 25th. And on the 26th, I think I'll go for De Bruyne. That's my plan. So yeah, not to complicate it too much, there is one 50-50 core, which will be on the 25th between my two strikers there. I don't think I'll captain Lukaku. Owning him is already enough pain. Captaining him is another story entirely, but this could be the night, or should we say the 26th could be the night where he finally delivers in this Euros tournament. My top rank, 135, rank 165k. Oh, right. So yeah, total points 135. Pretty good stuff, yeah. Very good start. Change Van Dijk, Casteels to Theo Hernandez and Raya last minute. Good luck. Yeah, I still like Van Dijk. He was in one of my drafts, but by the way, I hope Switzerland score here. Just not for Szoboszlai. It hasn't happened. Yeah, Casteels, look, I'm not that convinced about him, but I wanted to diversify my defence a little bit. Spain are more likely, I do admit that, but I've got Grimaldo already to cover their defence, and I think Albania could score. I try to be a little nicer to people because it's your stream than I'd be personally. Fair enough. Look, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. And most people here are, you know, all calm. Obviously, you always have the exceptions. Not gonna lie, I confirmed my team with 20 seconds left. Yeah, look, I did something similar, mate. I tend to do it in UCL Fantasy and, to be fair, in FPL as well. I always say I can't guarantee that my team is going to stick. You know, I'm always, and I did say to patrons and channel members, you know, I put a whole list of potential changes I could make. So I made it very clear. And I always say, you know, if you've got a question, you know, you want to ask me about, you know, are you going to make this change or not? I'm happy to answer it. Magia will play. I'm not so sure about it. I did cover the predicted lineups earlier. I'm not sure if he was in it. Magnan in for me. Do you think it was a good option? Yeah. I didn't go for him because I've got Pickford and they play on the same day. And I've got two French defenders already. Arthur Nice says, Dylan, here's my wildcard team. Dubravka, Verbruggen, Robertson, Koundé, Mittelstadt, Theo, Thas, Eriksson, Musiala, Gundogan, Szoboszlai, Jude, Kane, Mbappe, Varga. It looks very similar to a Limitless team, you know? I think the only kind of downgrade, so to speak, so you got no De Bruyne, but yeah, and you got Varga, but I have to say that really competes well with the Limitless teams. I rushed, had 30 minutes, Neuer, Hernandez, Grimaldo, Van Dijk, Szoboszlai, Musiala, Bellingham, Oyarzabal, Lukaku, Jota, Kane, French goalkeeper, Castagna, KDB, and Lukaku. Looks solid to me, mate. I really like it. I think one of the regrets I'll probably have is doubling up on the German midfield, but it has been great so far in the first two match days. I chose Gakpo in the last minute. I like Gakpo. He was in my thinking, but yeah, for me it was always between Lukaku, Mbappe, and Jota for the final two forward slots. I was always set on Kane, to be fair. Dylan, can we free sub Hernandez to Cancelo? Now Cancelo's locked in my team. Yeah. That's what I was saying before. So in UCL Fantasy, what you can do, and previous international tournaments, for unlocked players, so to speak. So, for example, Cancelo hasn't played yet. Hernandez hasn't played yet. So after tonight's games are done, you can bring on Hernandez for Cancelo without that counting as one of your 4 substitutions. So that's what you can do. And then if Hernandez blanks on the 25th of June, you can then sub him out for Cancelo. So don't worry about that. The only issue lies with if you benched a locked player, which means their game has started. That's the problem. So long as you haven't done that, you're fine. Can you show your matchday 2 points? Well, yeah, you can obviously see on the left-hand side what I scored. I'm not lying about it, but I'm happy to show you because matchday 1 was a tough one for me. It really was. It was a bad start. But of course, we live and learn. We live and learn, you'd think. So in matchday 2, this was how I did. So yeah, everyone in my starting 11 delivered. I made a late substitution change. I brought in Wout Faes for DeMarco, which I discussed in my team selection. Wout Faes delivered 7 points with a ball recovery point and also a clean sheet. So Verbruggen with a clean sheet as well against France and a save point. Mark Gay with ball recoveries. Mittelstadt with an assist, a yellow card, and also 3 ball recoveries. Joao Cancelo, 7 points. Bruno Fernandes with 8, scoring that tap-in provided by Cristiano Ronaldo, very unselfishly. Musiala with 9 points as one of my transfers. De Bruyne with player of the match and that late goal. Højbjerg with player of the match as well and a 7-pointer. Harry Kane scored against Denmark and he was my captain. I didn't change it in the end. Maybe I should have. And Lukaku got an assist, but it really could have been a big return from him. DeMarco got 4 points by making 8 ball recoveries and the rest blanked. But overall, a very solid showing by my 50-man squad. 89 points. And I went from 2.1 million roughly, or maybe 1.8 million in the end, to 200,000. So a massive rank rise. Things can still change quite drastically though and quite quickly. So not going to get carried away. And it's still not the rank I want to be at because I typically do quite well in a UCL Fantasy and all these international tournaments. You are the only streamer that had Jota in. Hope he doesn't haul. You're the only streamer that had Jota in. I'm guessing you're saying that I didn't. Yeah, because in the end, I don't have Jota. I sold him at the end for Lukaku. I'm hoping he doesn't haul now because I regret that decision by selling him. So thank you, Arthur. GG's bye, guys. Good night here. 1 AM approximately. Well, it's a shame. Hopefully you can still stay up to watch the games, but if not, have a good night. Dylan, how would you captain for the rest of the days? I covered it a few minutes ago. So basically, just to summarize again, Musiala is my captain right now. If he blanks or doesn't perform that well, I will likely go for Grimaldo tomorrow on the 24th of June. On the 25th, will be Harry Kane or Mbappe. If Mbappe starts, I think I'll go for him. On the 26th, I'd likely go for Kevin De Bruyne. So yeah, that is pretty much it. Also, check out my league. So the league code is JCRHjQ. And there's also an auto-join link in the description below. And the league code is there for you to copy. But yeah, everything is pretty much covered. Also, the predictions. I did go for 2-1 Hungary and 2-1 Germany. I'm not so sure about those predictions, but there you go. I am hoping for Gundogan and Musiala to haul, but let's wait and see. I'm going to go to the Scotland game now. So yeah, both games quite cagey at the moment. A lot to play for still in both matches, despite Germany securing qualification. If Switzerland win, they do pip them to top spot. What are your predictions, and do you have a league? I don't have a league for predictions. Only one amongst some friends of mine, but yeah, I mean, I could make one for the channel, yeah, and then maybe post on Discord and YouTube and Twitter and all that. Yeah, that's something I could do. But yeah, my predictions are 2-1 for both games today. Hungary and Germany winning. I put 1-1 between Croatia and Italy. 2-0 Spain. 2-0 France. 2-1 Netherlands. Denmark 1, Serbia 0. England 2, Slovenia 0, Ukraine 1, Belgium 2, Slovakia 0, Romania 1, Czech Republic 1, Turkey 2, Georgia 0, and Portugal 2. I might change some of these predictions, including the booster, the kind of captaincy on a prediction. That could also change as well. I was asked about Maja just now, and he isn't in the predicted lineup on the UEFA website. They have Sucic, Pasalic, Kramaric, and Budimir as the kind of more offensive options as well. Ooh! That was interesting by Germany there. Musiala almost getting on the end of that. But, oh, nice shot. Oh, that's a goal! No way. Wow. Okay, thank God. For a second, I thought it was Mittelstadt. Yes. Sorry, I can't have that guy scoring when I just got rid of him. But that is 1-0 to Germany with Andrik scoring the first goal. So we have an early goal already to the Germans. Jacques is complaining to the referee, Daniele Orsato. Let's see if anything is disallowed. I actually don't know who got the assist. Oh, he got the assist, didn't he? No, I got cleared away. That's not. Musiala potentially making the foul on the defender. Maybe. Yeah, there is contact. I think that goal could be disallowed. But host nation tax, who knows? Maybe Germany still have it. Sommer could have done much better with that goal. He really could have. It's a good strike, but yeah, Sommer did botch that. Yeah, he did. I think this goal could be disallowed, though. If, you know. Oh, he's checking the monitor. Yep. Normally that means they're going to reverse the decision. So, yeah, I don't think this goal by Andrik will count. So if there are any Euro fantasy managers with Andrik, I'm sorry, mate, but that doesn't count, does it? You know, there is contact. Hopefully they don't book Musiala for that. Nah, they can't do that with VAR. Nah. But yeah, interesting start to the game already. Yeah, so Maja will play. No, I don't think he'll play, as I just covered now. But yes, to conclude, let's go back to my team with this screen. Yeah, it looks like we're going to get an early disallowed goal. And Lukaku. Wait, what? Oh, no goal. I was going to say. Okay, yeah. Yeah, no goal for the Germans. Yeah, good stuff. I think that's the right decision, to be fair. Yeah, wow. Drama already, but I think that's the right call. Thank you to everyone for tuning in. It's been a pleasure talking to all of you. Good luck for Matchday 3. If you haven't already, smash the like button and subscribe for new. Let's get this stream to just as many likes as possible. We have reached already a few goals today, so I appreciate that. And let's also keep on pushing towards 25k subscribers on YouTube. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, DylanRCM, and check all the other links in the description below for my Patreon, the Championships Discord server, Euro Fantasy League, Draft Town, and also Spotify. Leave a 5-star review on that platform. It goes a long way to supporting the channel. Also follow me, there is enough support. Thank you to the super chatters, the patrons, and of course the members on YouTube. You're massively appreciated. I'm on BBC and I'm behind you on the stream. If you're on the BBC iPlayer, Manit, yeah, there's always a delay there when you're using these kind of, streaming services. But when you're on the TV, it's going to be obviously right on point. Is 64 points in Matchday 1 and 79 points in Matchday 2 good? Yeah, 64 points in Matchday 1 is particularly strong, and 79 points is solid. I went 2-1 Germany, 2-1 Scotland. Yeah, I went for 2-1 Hungary instead, but similar predictions overall with the scorelines. Let's wait and see what happens. I'm hoping for some points in Euro Predictor too, but the priority is obviously going to be of Euro Fantasy. Take care, everyone. If you want to, continue the discussion in any sort of way, there is the comment section down below, the Discord server, as I mentioned, and also you can talk to me, as always, on Twitter and Instagram. It's been a pleasure. All the best of luck for Matchday 3. Hopefully we see some goals and a lot of Euro Fantasy points. Take care.